inclusion too.
Yeah, we've got two big X factors on the wing. They've got a couple of decent wingers themselves, just quietly. But we're really pleased. Xavier, along with Harry's been our best player all year. With a couple of tactics last week by the Broncos that we hopefully don't get repeated tonight. But that's up to the referees to police that. But he's a danger, as is Will. And that's another reason. Also, we had Jonah in there. He's got a great short king game as well as line kicking game. But we've got to get down to the end of the field too to be in that position. So no, he's just waiting for X to do something. We've got to put him in the right position.
Appreciate your time, Frank.
Oh, good as always, Kelly.
Yeah, good on you, Ian, and great to hear from Frank Panisi just going through a couple of those changes. Melbourne getting ready for yet another home final here. They have had an extraordinary record of recent times, and in the Craig Bellamy era, this is the 17th time in Craig Bellamy's coaching tenure across 23 seasons that they finished in the top four, and the only time that they missed the finals during that entire period was the salary cap scandal back in 2010 when they were relegated to last. So they're favourites tonight, but Canterbury Bankstown looking for their first finals win in a decade after making that breakthrough return to September last year, only to be beaten by Manly Warringah in the first week of the finals. Boy, hasn't the Teddy Swim song got the SMS going? I'll get through a couple of them before we get to the preview here. 0467 920 222 is the number. Please send us your name and where you are texting from. Giannis says, hi Q, for the grand final you want someone to build the energy in the stadiums. Teddy Swims will put the crowd to sleep, according to Giannis. Froggy says, Teddy sounds good, yet I reckon Keith Urban in 2016 was simply the best since Tina. Thank you, Froggy. Mule from Tweed says, I don't know, old mate, for the NRL Grand Final. Hopefully he's got a song that revs us up and not puts us to sleep. That song you played, you could use after Big Dog put the kids to sleep. Yeah, it's a bit more soulful than rev up kind of stuff. Roger from Perth says, I love the program, but sorry, Teddy will put the crowd to sleep. Okay, so the big number being the big power ballad, it's not quite AC/DC, which is one of the Hopsy from Tumbarumba says, evening Q and fellas. Finals time, how good? I reckon the NRL Grand Final entertainment needs to be energy. Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Wolf Mother, etc. Barnsley was awesome. Have a great call tonight. Thanks, Hopsy. 0467 920 222. Lockie's listening in Oslo, and he says this is an uninspired choice. Aussie Rock should have been looked at. King Stingray, Hunters and Collectors, or Grimspoon. Or maybe I'm getting old. Are we getting old, Louis?
No, because I don't mind the song, but I'm sort of with them. I didn't want to break your heart, but I'm sort of with them.
Yeah.
To be fair, when it comes to grand final, I keep thinking, simply the best. What you get is what you see. That type of music. So it needs to get you up. That is a song where you like, you're sitting back, you're sitting out by the barbecue, just cruising. That type of song for me. But
well, I must admit, my kids were excited about it. So if they want to hit that younger demographic, that's certainly what they've done. Okay, the stadium's gone to black here. The teams will run out in just a moment. Luke Lewis, let's have a look at this qualifying final. The winner gets a trip to week 3. The loser has to front up against the winner of the Penrith Warriors game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, you don't want to be playing Penrith, and we're not guaranteed that Penrith's going to get through, right? But I do believe that Penrith are primed and ready to rock and roll for this semi-final series. They've got to get up for 4 games, and they're going for 5 back-to-back games. You don't want to be playing them. I think the Warriors will be super nervous. So whoever loses tonight, they know what they're up against next week. So they've got to put everything in tonight. Getting a week off is huge. It really is. It gives you a massive advantage. It gives you an opportunity to freshen up your side. And you've got one 80-minute performance for a grand final. So this is the game that you want to be playing in. Fighting for a week off, but you need to have everything sorted. You can't let any little opportunity go. So it should be a really good game of football. There's a lot of players missing from both sides, a lot of changes, but we are here in Melbourne. I think it's going to be hard. So Melbourne Storm to win.
Hoffy's made his way from the box down to the sideline. Ryan, what's it feel like now at ground level?
Yeah, there's an amazing atmosphere, great build-up by the NRL, heap of fireworks, lights gone out. There's a good smattering of Bulldog supporters down there in the southwest corner, so good atmosphere. It's there's a little bit of dew on the ground, but I don't think that's going to affect teams too much. I think we're going to see a bit of a bash and thorn on with Louis. I think the Storm just have too much firepower.
And as far as the NRLW tonight, interesting result with Parramatta defeating Canterbury Bankstown. That scoreline, Eels 46, Bulldogs 14. So that gets the Eels inside the top 6 for now, which puts real focus on the game between the Titans and the Raiders, which is on tomorrow at 1:45. So the Titans, who've got the 4.5 wins, if they win against the Raiders, they will return to the top 6. So a nervous wait for Eels supporters. 46-14 over the Bulldogs tonight. Of course, last night, the Roosters continuing their unbeaten season with a 40-10 win over the Cronulla Sharks. So these two teams tonight. Melbourne, it'll be Nick Meaney playing at fullback with Ryan Pappenhausen out with HIA protocols. Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates on the wings. Grant Anderson has been joined in the centres by Jack Howarth, who returns from a groin injury. He hasn't played since the round 22 game against Parramatta. Cam Munster joined in the halves by Jonah Pezzett. It's his first final. Jonah Pezzett, just his 18th game in the NRL. Stefano Uduikamanu joined up front by Josh King. Harry Grant back from 2 weeks out suspended as the hooker. The second row, Joe Chan moves from the centres to the second row with Eli Katoa, and Trent Liero is the lock. So Adavalu Lusati goes to the bench along with Alec McDonald, Tui Kamakamitha, and also Tyron Wishart, who was named in the halves. He'll come from the bench in the number 7 jumper. For Canterbury Bankstown, Connor Tracy plays at fullback. Jethro Renakama's in his first final on one wing. Jacob Carraz returns from an ankle injury. He's on the other wing. And Ari Tuala and Stephen Crichton play in the centres. Matt Burton and Lockie Galvin in the halves. Max King joined in the front row by Josh Curran. Sam Hughes is scratching. Bailey Hayward is the hooker. Viljami Kikau and Jacob Preston, the edge forwards. Jamin Salmon plays his 100th game in the NRL. It's his 5th final. He's the lock forward for the Doggies. Kurt Mansatili Tupanua, Toby Sexton and Harry Hayes the bench. Here come the Dogs in Melbourne. Canterbury Bankstown looking for a first finals win in a decade. The Kennel has been making noise out of Belmore for the last couple of years, but they're yet to strike at the pointy end of the season. And now, the storm warning in Melbourne. As ever, the AFL-style cream paper banner and thunderstruck will herald the entry of the Melbourne Storm, the consistent force in the National Rugby League. What a sporting organisation they are.
It's our home. This is our territory. Storm fans. Let's hear you, Storm fans. I said, let's hear you, Storm fans.
Shot on the big screen of Harry Grant coming through the tunnel.
And what time it is? Harry's marching them out onto the field. Are you ready?
Welcome to September. It's not September in the NRL without a Storm home game in week 1 as Harry Grant leads Melbourne out onto the field. As much as it's familiar, it never gets old, Louis, with the Storm playing at the pointy end of the season.
What a feeling, isn't it? That thunderstruck playing. You can see Melbourne Storm. The look on Harry Grant's face says it all. They're here to turn. They've turned up to play. They're ready to rock and roll. And September is here. I can't wait for this one. I've got the goosebumps. This is the part that I miss as a footballer. Running out in semi-final football in September. Nothing better in the world.
Who you tipping, Louis?
I'm going Melbourne at home.
Hoffy, down to you on the touchline.
Oh, that was a hell of a build-up. Great roar for the Bulldogs coming out there. And then when the Melbourne Storm come out with the thunderstruck playing, great atmosphere down here. Storm by 4.
Okay, let's see how it rolls out. 0467920222, the number to get in touch. Adam G is the referee and Ash Klein is in the bunker. There's a few vacant seats in the upper reaches of the stands, but a pretty good house in. And after a shower or two throughout the afternoon, good conditions for the start of this qualifying final. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. It's the month that matters, and we can't wait to bring it all to you on the national broadcaster. Nick Meaney kicks off for the Storm. The finals for 2025 are underway. Lockie Galvin makes the catch, and King with the first hit up charged into by Udawikamanu and put down about a dozen from the northern end. The Doggies running to the right of your radio dial in this first half as Carraz gives to Galvin. Left side shift already. Burton out to Kickoff, and Kickoff makes a run beyond the 30. That was a good move from the Dogs and good territory as Kickoff plays it there. And fed infield by Hayward to Curran. Josh Curran starting in the run on team for the Dogs. Taking a dozen inside his own half out in the left. Hayward infield to Tracy with a little stepping run. Stop 5 metres inside Bulldogs territory. Hayward there at dummy half. Passes left for Burton's boot. His first kick of the night is high and deep to the defensive right corner. Caught comfortably by Meaney. 10 from his own line. Met by the Dogs. Kick chase and push back a metre or two. Kickoff and Curran and Tuwala among that chasing trio as Warbrick has a one. Left to the upright. Oh, left to the ruck. There's a man down and hurt. Kickoff's been knocked out. He's now rolling over, so I think he's come too quickly. Down to Hockey on the touchline.
Yeah, Kickoff went down straight away and immediately arms went up from everyone. There's a bit of concern about it. This could be big news for the Bulldogs.
Well, he's on his knees. He flopped to ground.
Well, the thing is, the way that he's flopped the ground, he could really put himself out here. There wasn't a whole lot in it. Just gets an accidental elbow here from, who was it, Warbrick, I think. And then he just goes down. I think he might have just sort of been trying to lay down and just sort of relax a bit. But there's not a whole lot in that. It did look like it was heavily concussed.
Well, he went limp, which is for a moment, which is why I said he's been knocked out. But then, very quickly, he seemed to come to, for lack of a better word. It's being attended to by a couple of trainers. And this will be very interesting, with, of course, the grading for Cat 1 at the top of the list is if you see the body contort.
He definitely went limp, Q. He definitely went limp. He lay down on his back. One good thing is they've got Cecily Tupanura on the bench. I'm assuming he's probably the one that will come onto the field, but it's going to be a huge loss there for the Bulldogs if he does go off. But for me, I don't see him coming back on, and I didn't, again, I'm not saying that he's faking this in any way, shape or form, but there wasn't a lot in it, so it might have got him right in the temple or something like that, where it just didn't look like there's a lot in it, but it got him clean and flush.
So drama straight up. We're only 60 seconds into the game, and the two-time premiership winner with the Panthers, one of that group that's been prized from out of Panthers territory to Belmore, Xiaomi Kickoff, is being attended to by 3 trainers at the moment, and play has just paused for a moment. Kickoff gets to his feet now, and the doctor's just looking at the right side of his face, I think, Ryan.
He's just come onto the field for the Bulldogs, but look, there is a bit of concern possibly for a cheekbone or something like that, but for a player to get this much of attention for a head knock, you've got to think it's going to be a Category 1.
And he's now walking of his own volition. He looks okay on his feet, but will obviously be taken from the ground for head injury assessment. But there's just a second or so, Louis, of the shape of how he fell without control of his body weight, which might really be telling in the assessment of that head injury. So he's up the race.
I reckon what happened is when he laid down, he wanted to have a rest for a second, but he didn't go limp, but it did look like he went limp.
Playback underway. Udawikamanu to the 30. 30 for the Storm. Now Katoa on a run right edge and 10 from halfway. Ball played to Harry Grant. Back in the team after a couple of weeks suspension. Here's the ball on to Liero, who takes the Storm up to halfway. He's put down there just right side of Main Street. Plays the ball there to Grant. Pass blind side and right for the kick from Pezzett. It's high from Jonah Pezzett. Comes down 10 metres out. Caught by Tracy, the Bulldogs fullback. And he meets the defence led by Udom Ekamanu and King. And tackled 18 metres from the goal line. He's defending. Burton's in there at dummy half. Gives the ball infield and run taken forward by Renakama, the young man, just in his 5th game, playing his first final. Jethro Renakama. Now down the middle, no room for Carraz. Short of the 30s. He plays it to Hayward. Grant takes him from marker. Dogs fans thought he wasn't square. Referee lets it go. No gain at all for Bailey Hayward for the Bulldogs. Played there to Galvin. Given left for Burton, who kicks downfield. Again, deep with that left foot. Defensive right corner. Mini takes it for the Storm. Midway goal line and halfway. His kick return gets just beyond the 30. Early stages, no score in Melbourne. It's finals footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, the very first set I liked what the Bulldogs did when they went one into the middle of the field with that shift over the left edge. You can't play through the middle on the Melbourne side. They'll eat you up. They get 3 into a tackle all the time. So you've got to move the ball to the edges.
Coach to the middle of the field and 6 more on a ruck infringement from the Bulldogs. So the first ping and wavy fisty of the night as Josh King gathers 10 down the middle, 40 out the Storm. Udu Ikamanu, the next man to bore down that middle portion of the field. 31 from the Dogs line when tackled. Grant now passes left. Pezzett holds it up, pops it on Munster. Gives it on to Chan. Chan through half a hole before the defence comes across and Tracy makes an important tackle 10 metres out. Grant passes right through Munster, through Pezzett to the right edge and Eli Katoa, as he's done all season, scores on the right edge for the Storm. The opening try of the finals goes the way of the purple.
This is too easy, Hugh. It's way too easy for the Melbourne Storm. What about the pass from Munster over there to find Chan early? That was a really nice pass. And it was a simple play back to the middle of the field. And it sets this play up here for Elias Katoa. He's been absolutely outstanding this year. He's been great under the high ball. He's been punching holes all year. Been scoring tries like a centre or a winger. But just this simple little bit of a play here out the back. It wasn't the best passes, but just that line run there by Elias Katoa on the inside shoulder is just too big, too strong. Matty Burton couldn't get a hand on him, and that's a great start there for the Melbourne Storm.
Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Louis. Great start for the Melbourne Storm. I think we're already starting to see the Jonah Pezzett effect, allowing Cameron Munster just to worry about what he's doing. Jonah Pezzett threw that last pass to Eli Katoa. That was a great pass by him. He started his first final very well. Guys, quickly on Viliame Kickoff. He's been great at the category 2. If he passes his HIA, he'll be able to come back.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. And good work from Hoffy down on the touchline. Nick Meaney with a rather simple angle for his first conversion attempt of the night. Slightly right of the uprights. He's kicked 37 of 51 this year. It was his birthday on Wednesday, 28 years of age, and he adds the extra 2 for Melbourne. Storm 6, Bulldogs nil. Early stages of finals footy on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman bringing it to you from Melbourne. By the way, the AFL's first semi-final is underway in Adelaide tonight. Loser out, and the winner goes through to a preliminary final against Geelong. Hawthorn 3-2-20 lead Adelaide 1-8 halfway through the first quarter. You can hear it on the ABC Listen app on the red and blue button. 6-0 to the Storm here as referee G sets us back underway. Burton with the kickoff. Munster's underneath it, about 5 from his own line, and he gives it to Udu Ikamanu, who will take the ball into the defence there of Max King. Got help from Samba to make the tackle. Storm on their 10. Grant a dummy half. Gives it on to Howarth. Such a big inclusion back into the team from a groin injury. Howarth tackled just short of the 20 out on the left. One man back infield. But good defence there in the face of Chan. Played to Grant. Looks blindside. Harry Grant. Has to run himself, can't get under the tackle of Hayes and others. Taken about 17 metres inside his own half. Munster's a dummy half, runs infield himself. Hayward there to make the tackle, and referee G says that's 5. So the Storm have got to the 40 inside their own half. Off to score. Pezzett with the kick downfield. He mishits that. Off the instep, a bit of a roller. Taken down low by Tracy. 15 from his own line. Runs almost beyond the 30. He's 15 from halfway as the set starts for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, they won't be happy with that set there, Melbourne Storm. They didn't get too many metres there, especially the set finish there from the kick. But they've got to defend well here. They're right in this game. They've really sort of shell-shocked the Bulldogs at the moment. The Bulldogs just can't get too caught up in what's happened.
Crichton to halfway, and now Max King takes the Bulldogs into attack. Taken down 45 from the Melbourne line, right in the middle of the park. Hayward with options either side. Passes left for Burton, who puts up another high, deep kick to the defensive right corner. Mini's been up to it all night so far. He catches that one as well. Good kick chase, and the Storm start this set 5 from their own line. Pezzett gets into dummy half, gives it on to Warbrick. Will Warbrick, just his 5th game of the season, and great to see him back playing footy after a scary time where he wondered whether he would be back here. Anderson with a run. Storm almost to the 20 as Anderson's tackle. Plays the ball to Grant. Given on to Coates running down the middle third. Xavier Coates midway goal line and halfway, and then he gets up and pinches a few metres. Ref lets him go. Not ordered back on the mark. Quick play the ball. Liero to the 40. Taken down by Curran. Last play Storm. Blindside right for Pezzett. And another high deep kick. He's got some purchase on that boot. Taken by Tracy. Defensive left corner. 10 from his own line. And he meets the defence. Dogs will start this set about 22 out down to Ryan Hoffman. On the touchline, Melbourne 6 lead, Canterbury Bankstown 0.
There's a couple of different styles at play here. The Bulldogs, they're shipping a couple of plays just to the edges, just to spread the Melbourne Storm defence. Then they're putting in the early kick with Burton, really trying to get down Melbourne inside their 20 and beast them up with their defence.
Carraz with the ball down the middle third, taken 15 from halfway. Hayward now gives it to Crichton, who eyed half a gap, and just as well King was there to grab his thighs. He was almost through. Crichton plays it 5 from halfway. Last play of the set, and once again Burton, he's happy to bomb to that defensive right side from Melbourne, and all the time it's Meany getting across there. He takes it and tackle 25 from the line he's defending.
Yeah, well, Matty Burton does such a good job. Here
Drop
comes the
ball
Melbourne
from
Storm.
Warbrick. Drop ball from Warbrick. Jumped on by the Dogs. Warbrick makes the tackle, and this gives Canterbury Bankstown a chance.
And that's why the Bulldogs love to kick long. They just get into that arm wrestle. They wait for the opposition to make a drop forward. Now the Bulldogs get a penalty, only 25 metres out from the Melbourne line.
So it's a high tackle here. Just waiting to see if Adam G's going to put anyone on report. First replay we're seeing of Warbrick just dropping the ball. And
there you go. You took a man who gets him around the chin. I think it might have been on Salmon there.
And the Dogs take the tap and decide to run at the Storm. 6-0 to Melbourne, the scoreline. Max King, the first hit up. Taken about 18 metres out. And the Doggies fans making their voices heard in Melbourne as Hayes on the inside line. Taken 13 metres from the Melbourne line. 6 more coming up here on a ruck infringement. Galvin pops it up for Preston. Jacob Preston standing in the tackle there of Munster and Grant. They eventually get him to ground. Preston plays it 3 metres from the Storm line. Hayward passes left. Salmon cuts it out to the left edge. Oh, Galvin's passed to the inside line of Curran, and he's dropped it. Josh Curran's come up with a mistake, and well, that's a bad error for the Bulldogs. Gifted a chance to rumble at the Storm line. 9 minutes played. It's Melbourne 6 leading Canterbury Bankstown 0. It's finals footy on a Friday night here on ABC Sport.
Yeah, big opportunity there for the Bulldogs, gone begging. They had 4 more plays on the Melbourne's line, and they tried a little bit of a shift here. It wasn't a whole lot going on. It was just a simple little cross play there to find Curran, and he leaves the ball behind and comes up with an error. Maybe a little bit of nerves just setting in for the Bulldogs at the moment.
Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
Yeah, the Melbourne Storm have had a bit of success coming out of their own end, just knocking the door down. We spoke in the preview about how much bigger the Melbourne Storm team is to the Bulldogs, as we see Jack Howarth make a good run. They're finding a lot of success going hard and straight through the guts.
Howarth first run off the scrum win, and now King second play, Storm to the 30. Ball played there to Grant, given on to Liero. Liero's tackled 15 inside Storm territory. Gorgeous conditions for this first final. Winner straight to the prelim. Loser's got a front up next week. Udawikamanu is taken 8 metres inside Storm territory. Grant passes left for Munster. Pops it up for Josh King. A little flat-footed and pretty easy pickings. The defence there led by Preston put him down. Storm still a metre or so inside their own half. Last play. Pezzett with his right boot kicks high and deep to the defensive right corner. Tracy over there to catch it. Runs over the 10. Oh, hit solidly by Munster and Chan in the kick chase. But Tracy bounces up and plays it on the 20. Carraz now for the Bulldogs. Runs into the defence. Or pops out a loose pass to Galvin out the back. A hopeful offload. Galvin no catches it. Makes a couple of metres before Munster makes the tackle. Crichton one-handed pick up a dummy half. Gives it to Carraz running down the middle third. And Carraz taken. The Bulldogs are 15 metres from halfway. 10 minutes played. 6-0 to the Storm. As now King down the middle third. And Max King is going to be taken on the red stripe at the 40 inside his own half. Hayward passes left for Burton, who kicks a shallower bomb this time at the end of the set. It's taken by Warbrick. Renakama was there to tackle him immediately. And the Storm start this set 30 from their own line.
Yeah, he didn't hit that one very well there, Matty Burton. He was going for a bit of a 40-20 there, but it sort of just only kicks it by 25 metres. Very unlikely, very unusual, I should say, there for Matty Burton. But the Melbourne Storm, they're just in the face of the Bulldogs, and they're a little bit rattled, like I said before, the Bulldogs.
Meany almost to halfway, and now Coates takes Melbourne into attacking territory. He stepped off the mark when playing the ball, so referee G gives him another go. He just takes a little bit of momentum out of the set. One outrun from Munster, 3 defenders around him. And Cam Munster eventually goes to his knees on 5:40 from the Bulldogs line. Grant dummies left, Damage right, Gibbs left through the hands. Chan to the edge for Howarth. Grubber in behind the line. That looked a bit messy from the Storm at the end of that. Easy pickings for Tracy. Runs at them, gives Serena Karma, and a good tackle by Anderson puts him down. 2 men playing their first final. Stand to Hoffy on the touchline.
Yeah, we just got word that William Kickoff has passed his HIA and will be back in the field shortly.
Oh, that's big news for the Bulldogs after he went down and looked a little limp going to ground in the opening exchanges. Kiraz for the Bulldogs down the middle third. Out the back the ball comes. Was that an offload? Doesn't matter. There's a Storm hand on the end of it. Galvin was close, but Munster was closer. Munster jumps on the loose offload. Another incomplete set from the Bulldogs, and the Storm can go on the attack. Try scorer Katoa on the right edge is taken 25 from the Dogs line. Grant one man infield to Udawikamanu. It's the defence of Hayes who's going to try and drag him down. He needs some help. The Dogs there in number to stop big Stefano. Plays it 21 metres out. Grant to left and centre field through Pezzett to Munster. Passes to Chan. Scrunched in the tackle. I think there's a dog hurt in that tackle as well. That was Crichton. He's slow to get up. I'll keep an eye on the ball. Grant to midfield. King there pops it up to Liero. Crichton's limping back into the defensive line. The Dog skipper is hurt, but he's back in the defensive line. Last play, Melbourne. Centre field 10 metres out to the right. Pezzett gives it on to Meany. They've run it, but Burton's in the face of Meany to make the tackle along with Tuala. Let's get down to Hoffy. Stephen Crichton in the hands of the trainers.
Yeah, Crichton's in a bit of trouble here. It's a bit of a limp. I'm not sure it was a cork in that strong contact there with Joe Chan, but he's with the trainer, Travis Tooman, now, just trying to run it out.
So the Dogs have got the ball, 20 from their own line. 6-0 the scoreline to Melbourne. 14 minutes played. Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman with you for Finals Footy on ABC Sport. Jamin Salmon runs in field and he's taken down. Dogs still deep inside their own half. G. Carraz has done some work in this first half. He's in the middle of the field, again on a run to the 30. Plays the ball to Hayward, given left to Burton. Kick downfield, this time it will find grass in between Warbrick and Meany. It bounces kindly from Meany, who pops it up for Warbrick on the 20. Runs infield on the kick return and loses the ball! Loses the ball in the contact from Max King, who was the second man into that tackle. And another handling error from Will Warbrick, Louis.
Yeah, well, he's not having a great night so far in this opening 15 minutes. 2 drop balls come over his own end, and he just gets a little bit of a knee, pops the ball out, and it gives the Bulldogs another really good opportunity on their line. Last time the Bulldogs were down here, it was off the same sort of drop ball there from Will Warbrick, so he needs to pick up his game. He's got to get his head right.
Yeah, King coming in and that ball-carrying arm of Warbrick basically ran into the knee of King, and that was the reason the ball came out. Dog scrum, 25 out in centre field. Canterbury trailing 6-0. Right side, and Crichton pops it up for Carraz, but he's put down by Josh King along with Munster. Played there to Hayward. Pass to Max King, who rolls down the middle and puts the Dogs closer. He's now 13 metres out when he'll play the football here. Hayward passes left through Salmon. Out to the edge for Galvin. Pops it up for the infield runner, Curran. Curran meets the defence, led by Grant, who slams his back into the turf. And Curran will play it only 7 metres out. Hayward back to right and centre field. Salmon to Galvin. To Preston on the right edge. Runs at the defence. But Munster's there to make good first contact. He's put down as Preston only a couple of metres out to the right and blindside. Crichton received, tried a little grubber. The kick, well, it was off Meany, picked up by the Dogs. Played at, says the referee, 6 more. Galvin has a run and is tackled. So the Bulldogs with a fresh set, still on the attack. Hayward passes left and centre field. Crichton gives it to King. Max King taken down. 7 metres from the Storm line. Melbourne leading the game. 6 points to 0. Muck around in the ruck from the Storm and a wavy fisty. Liero, the offender there. Hayward to the left. Salmon's got it. Doesn't like left. Comes back in field himself on a bit of a one-out mission, but he's taken and plays the ball now to Hayward. Passes right for Galvin. Infield runs Preston. Preston taken down low by Uduikamanu. Up top by Chan. Dogs 5 to the right of the uprights and 5 metres out. Hayward left to Salmon. Across the 10. The pass to Galvin to the edge. Burton dummies and straightens. Burton is taken on the goal line. Peasant with the try-saving tackle. Hayward passes infield. Galvin's ball to Salmon was suspect. It was forward. It was forward. End of set. Storm survive and they hold on to their lead. 16 minutes played. Melbourne 6, Canterbury Bankstown 0.
Yeah, I thought they had him shot a couple of times there, the Bulldogs. When they went to that left edge, I thought Matty Burton was going over for sure. Great scramble defence there from the Melbourne Storm. And then when they come back, there's a nice little ball there from Lockie Galvin. Played short to Salmon. I thought he was going through. But another Melbourne Storm player turns up and defends their line like it means something this week. That's really good defence there from the Melbourne Storm.
Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
Yeah, great confidence builder for Jonah Peasant, making that huge tackle on Burton, saving a try. I've been keeping my eye on Stephen Crichton. He's right in front of me. He is struggling. That's actually an ankle injury, and he's tried to get himself involved in that set, but he is only running on one leg. He's in a bit of strife.
And Kickoff's back out there now, Hoffy, so that is some good news for the Bulldogs, but a couple of their key men just not 100% early in this final. Melbourne with the ball as it's played by Howarth on the 30. Storm still inside their own half. Liero takes contact, gets an offload away to Grant. Second phase given on to Munster, then to the left edge, but no way through for Chan. There's a flop from the Dogs, penalty to the Storm. Penalty to the Storm, 18 minutes in, Melbourne leading 6-0. Meanwhile in the AFL, Hawthorn 3-3-21 lead Adelaide 3-2-20. That's late in the first quarter. And earlier today in the NRLW, Eels inside the top 6 for now, having beaten the Bulldogs 46-14, means the Titans have got to beat the Raiders to get back into the top 6.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a close-up there, Billy Army kick out. He got that elbow, I was saying, he got it right on his eye, so he's got a bit of a swelling under that eye. His eye's half closed, so I should have kept attacking him.
Not a huge gain on the touch finder. Howard first play into attacking territory though, 45 from Canterbury's line. A couple of passes to centre field and Uduikamanu sat out last week. Dick Stefano steps off the mark again. The referee G's going to give him another chance to get it right. So he plays at 42 out. Grant to the left for Peasant to Munster onto Chan. Good tackle. Crichton down low to stop him. Galvin there as well. Chan plays it. Grant blindside left, gives it on to Munster. Tries to dance past Salmon and does, but Preston's there along with Galvin to make the tackle. Storm 25 out in the left. Grant runs infield himself, gets to the 20 then on almost an obstruction line. He ran into the back of Uduikamanu. Referee G lets it go as Curran makes the tackle. Last play Melbourne to the right. Peasant, he's rushed at. Finds composure to kick to the in goal, but it's caught on the full by Jethro Renakama going to a knee. Good work from the teenage winger out to the 20 for a 7 tackle set.
Yeah, well, Munster got caught with the ball and he wanted to kick early, but he just couldn't get a good catch on it. And then Peasant had to come up with a kick, and again, really good pressure there from the Bulldogs, and he just gets that kick wrong, and a 7 tackle set for the Bulldogs. So let's see what they can do it now.
And 6 more. Renakama plays it 5 from halfway, but there's the ping for the press set. Burton, though, just walks out a dummy half. He's quickly tackled. What can you see, Louis?
Stephen Crichton's coming from the field.
Okay, we'll get to Hoffy in a moment. So Crichton limping up the race. The Bulldogs skipper, that is a huge story early in this final series. Hayward's got claret coming from a cut in his left eye as well, as he's a dummy half distributing to the right, and Curran's tackled.
Yeah, and Toby Sexton's come on, and Matty Burton's gone to left centre.
Tracy with a step in field out in the right edge. Fullback can't get through. He'll play it for the Dogs 31 metres from the Storm line. Melbourne leads 6-0 on finals footy on ABC Sport. To the left, Salmon to Galvin, on to Kickoff. Tried the offload, and Sexton picks it up, goes into the in-goal area. He thinks it's come off his legs, and I think the referee is going to have a look at that as well. He's gone into the in-goal. Let's tune in here to Ref Adam G.
I believe that it's his knee and also his arm will be no try.
So on-field call is no try, with referee G thinking there was a hint of arm as well. No, that's the roar from Dogs fans.
There's no hand or arm involved. Just play on at this stage.
And the rest will be okay.
He takes possession cleanly now.
And Toby Sexton on return to the team.
And grabs the ball. We have a decision. That's right.
Scores the opening try for Canterbury Bankstown, which should level things up. He scored under the sticks.
Well, when he was playing earlier in the year, the Bulldogs looked really, really good. He gets sat down, he doesn't get back in the side because of Lockie Galvin. He comes back on for his first opportunity, his very first touch of the ball. He gets a lucky little pass, comes off his knee, he plays to the whistle. He knows exactly what happened there, Toby Sexton. Picks it up and then gets a little bit of footwork, comes off that left foot, scores under the post, gets the Bulldogs right back into this game.
Down to Ryan Hoffman on the touchline.
Yeah, they needed a bit of luck there, the Bulldogs. They have had none so far. Obviously, with Stephen Crichton and Villiamy kick-out both going off. It was a Villiamy kick-out offload that managed to get it for Toby Sexton. Look, amazing things. They've had a great record with him on the field, and it looks to start off really well with his first touch. For the Bulldogs, it looks like Tuala has gone from the left centre over to the right centre for Stephen Crichton, and you're right, Louis, Burton's gone to left centre.
So some shuffling for Cam Serrato and the Bulldogs. And Matt Burton now eyeing this conversion attempt 10 metres out and directly in front. It would level the scores. Burton with that left leg heavily strapped. He kicks the conversion though. Melbourne Storm 6, Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 6. We've travelled 20 minutes on this Friday night of finals footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman. Around the grounds, quarter time in the AFL semi-final. Hawthorn 4-4, 28 lead Adelaide 3-2, 20. And Jeff and Sunshine says Storm should target Crichton as he basically can't move. Well, yeah, he's off the ground now, Jeff. Thanks for that. 0467920222. Craig from Foster. Happy Rugby League finals indeed. Have a great call. Yep, it's been pretty high pace. We expected that, Louis. We always do in the finals. And now we've got through this opening 20. Both teams can sort of settle down a bit. No one's really made much damage one way or the other on the scoreboard. Bit of an interesting kick from Mini. Galvin lets it bounce and it almost evaded him before he eventually was able to grab the footy out in that defensive right side for the Bulldogs. Hayes with the kick return and hold on.
Shan gets a bit of a cut. He's cut his lip open.
Oh, he's looking like the Joker down there, Hoffy. He's got blood either side of his lips.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a head clash, Shan. He split his lip open, and there's a lot of claret there.
Oh, that's nasty for Joe Chan.
A couple of stitches, and not going to be feeling too comfortable eating during the week.
So we've had a bit of attrition early in this game. Kick out, the head knock, but back out there. Crichton with a leg injury, and how's he look, Hoppy, coming to the bench here?
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a cut. There's going to be quite a few stitches, I think. There's Storm putting on Avati Lasati. He was named in number 11, so he's going straight into the back row for Joe Chin.
So just his 13th game of the NRL and his first final as Avalu Lasati. Oh, and now there's a mistake. From the first carry off the restart, Jacob Carraz has come up with a loose carry, and this will give the Storm prime attacking position, only a dozen from the Bulldogs line.
Yeah, he's filthy on himself there, Carraz. He had to come up with a strong carry. There was a set defensive line there for the Melbourne Storm, and gets an error in there and gives the field position back to the Melbourne Storm, and they are very hard to hold out here, so they've got to do a good defensive job here, the Bulldogs.
Scrum will form 20 in from the western side and about 12 metres from the Canterbury line. Gorgeous night in Melbourne for the start of the finals. Xavier Coates feeds the scrum, taken off the back by Grant. Oh, passes it along the ground and eventually it's jumped on by Anderson for the Storm. It went along the deck and he picks it up, 20 from the goal line. Blindside right, give it a cut. Toa runs into the defence. Hayward's now got some bandage around that cut that we spoke about earlier on. He makes the tackle with Salmon. Ball played to Grant, pass left and centre field. Pez it on to Uduikamanu. Runs into the defence, led by Preston. He gets some help. Uduikamanu to play it for Melbourne. 10 out and 10 to the left of the upright. 6 all to score line. Right and centre field, Munster at the line. Pops it up for King. Josh King taken high in the tackle. Penalty goes to Melbourne. What do you do here?
Take the 2.
Louis.
Take the 2. It's a semi-final. Every point is very important here. You're in front. Take the 2 points.
What do you reckon, Hoffy?
Yeah, the signals come up from the sideline. Definitely got to be 2 points. It's a gift 2 points, 2 points you don't have. Joe Chan has been categorised a category 2. So like Billy Army kick out, if he passes HIA, he will be back.
And probably needs a stitch or 2 on that.
Yeah, you need about 5, I reckon. He's going to be beaten through a straw.
Kick out with that high tackle. Don't think it's gone on report, but Nick Meaney setting up for a penalty goal attempt.
I'll tell you what I'd be doing. I'd be kicking to Eliesa Cartel down now and Toby Sexton now. Matty Burton's out in the centre. I'd be going straight to Coates over. He's got so much room.
So Meaney from point blank range to give Melbourne the lead. 17 minutes left in the first half. He kicks the penalty goal. Storm 8, Bulldogs 6, finals footy on ABC Sport with Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman live from Melbourne. Meanwhile in the AFL second quarter's just got underway. Hawthorn 4-4-28 lead Adelaide 3-2-20. Well, Matt Burton's waiting for a football to restart the game.
He's out there in the middle of the field. He's still calling for one. Too funny.
Anything that you've sort of surprised you by the first 20 minutes or so, Louis?
Nah, yeah, to be fair, just both sides making a few too many errors. For a semi-final football of this calibre, a couple of too many drops for me.
Well, they have had patchy run-ins, haven't they, these two? Storm losing their last 2, Dogs winning just 1 of their last 4 in the lead-in, and that win was against basically a New South Wales Cup team from Penrith. From the restart, Uduikamanu with the carry beyond the 10. King second play, and that's a good run down the middle third. Gains 15 metres there does Josh King. Plays at 15 from halfway for the Storm. Given 1 man to the right for Liero. Huge year for Trent Liero. All 3 games for Queensland in the Origin Series. Plays it here just beyond the 30 for Melbourne. Early kick from Pezzett in the set. Well inside the 40. It pitches, rolls, and Tracy boldly gets to the touchline, chucks it in field, regathers, and is eventually tackled 20 from his own line. He realised he had enough time to just flip that ball in. Momentum was taking him beyond the western side, but he did well to negotiate that. It was close to being a 40-20. It was probably a near-run thing, but he didn't want to risk it. Now Wanari Tuwala's got the ball for Canterbury. Just beyond the 30, he's tackled. Plays the ball to Hayward, given to Preston. Jacob Preston is wrapped up by Coates and driven to deck 11 metres inside Canterbury territory. Out on the right, 15 in from touch on the western side. 1 man infield to Curran down the middle third. Curran tackled. Ref G says 5. Last play Bulldogs just inside their own half. Galvin will be the kicker at the end of this set. With the right boot, defensive left corner, Meaney there to catch it. 10 from his own line. Runs laterally. He's got Kurt Mann in his face. Speaking of Origin this year, what a reward for him. He's out there for the Dogs. And along with Tupanua makes the tackle. Melbourne start this set a dozen from their own line. Warbrick with a run up to the 20. He's had a bit of a handling issue tonight. Keeps it in hand that time. Plays the ball on the red stripe. Now 1 man to the right for Anderson. Just short of the 30. 20 in from touch on the right. Anderson to play it. Melbourne leading by 8 points to 6. 14 minutes left in the first half. The scoreboard is having a bit of a mare. It had 10-6 and then it added 2 to go to 12-6. Now it's just taken 2 off. So eventually they've got that right on the big screen. been. 8-6 indeed the score as Munster entered the set. 5 inside his own half. High kick downfield. It's caught by Tracy, and he's going to take the run into the defence, and the Dogs start this set midway goal line and halfway.
Now, I'd like to see the Dogs just go 1 in, 2 in. He did that nice little simple shift over to Matty Burton, take those easy metres, and then set back up the middle of the field for the kick. They did that in their very first set, made a whole heap of metres. They look really, really good. But from there, they're just going 1 out carries. They're playing into the Melbourne's hands at the moment.
Luke Lewis with your finals footy on ABC Sport. Rinakama tackled a dozen inside his own half to the right. Given through man to Galvin. Holds and gives to Tracy. Right edge shift to Whaler. Good tackle from Howarth in his face. 1-on-1. Puts him down right on halfway. 10 in from the western side. Plays the ball to Tracy. Left and centre field through Galvin onto Tupanua. And the experienced Satili Tupanua is going to play the ball here about 45 from Melbourne's line. Last play of the set. And again, Burton with that left boot puts it to the skies to Warbrick's corner. Warbrick catches defensive right side. 10 from his own line. Good kick chase. Sexton and Curran there to put him down. Storm start this set deep in their own half to Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
They're getting back into the field position game a bit more, the Bulldogs. They were losing it there, but that was a really good kick by Burton, really pinning the Melbourne Storm down in their own edge, but they need to back it up with their defence as we see it on Tupanua.
Yeah, Tupanua on coach as the Storm hit it up. Hoffy just same question that I asked Louis. Anything you're picking up in the first part of this game that surprised you?
No, look, I agree with Louis. The errors in contact haven't been good. It could be the dew on the ground, but look, the Bulldogs need to shift the ball. The more they shift the ball, the more dangerous they look. They shouldn't go away from it just because Stephen Crichton's not there.
End of the set, Munster from his own 40 kicks downfield. It bounces kindly for Carraz. Decides to pass it off to Tracy, and Tracy is tackled just beyond the 30. Yes, Stephen Crichton is up the race with a leg injury, and we wait for further assessment around the Bulldogs skipper as Rinakama comes infield to do some work off his wing. The young teenager plays the ball 15 from halfway. Now Carraz down the middle third. You can see that his addition to the team is so valuable. He has done so much work in this first half, and now Tupanua down the middle third. The Dogs just punch, 1 out down the middle third, and they get to within 40 of the line. Played to Hayward, blindside right, Tracy. Pop ball to Preston. Good contact made by Howarth in his face. Makes the tackle. Last play Canterbury, 25 out, 15 in from touch on the right. Sexton puts up a bomb towards Carraz's wing. Meany's there with Galvin. Galvin juggles, and just fumbles it when it looked like he was going to grab it a third time to try and score. What's the referee say? The ball's gone into the in goal. Storm have fielded it.
What's he saying? I can't hear him, Q.
Melbourne in the initial contest.
And he's saying he knocked it on into Melbourne.
Okay.
Kick chase is onside.
This was Meany leaping against Galvin.
Okay, a couple of hand on Nick Meany first, just getting perspective for the direction.
Is that Meany's hand or is that Galvin's hand?
Meany's knocked it forward.
I'll come out with the hand on Nick Meany, then touches Lachlan Galvin for a double knock on. Just playing on at this stage just to see what happens with Lachlan Galvin.
So Dogs will get
He knocks the ball on as well. We have a decision.
Dogs will get the ball back here though. Off the knock on from Meany. Raise an eyebrow there, Louis.
I just can't. I don't get it. We don't get a great look at it there. I'm looking at the camera view. It's very hard to see what hand touches that ball there, but it's going to be a Bulldogs feed. So I'm happy to go with what the bunker said. They've probably got a different view up there from what I'm seeing here.
Cam Munster's got the ball under his wing. What's he doing?
He's just pretending that he's going to play the ball.
Now he drops it. 8-6 the scoreline in favour of Melbourne. A little over 11 minutes left in this first half. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. Canterbury on the attack here. We'll take this scrum. 10 from the southern end goal, 10 in from the right. Hayward takes it off the back. Passes left and centre field. Sexton dummies and goes himself. Taken though by the tackle of McDonald. Only 8 metres out. A tackle that needed to be made. Quick play the ball. Left side given to Tracy. Tracy taken down by Katoa and others. Dogs are only 5 metres out. Hayward passes back right in centre field. Sexton's ball to Tupanua. Almost crashed through. Try save for Grant. Got his ankles and stopped him with Meany a couple of metres out. Hayward to the right. Through Sexton to Galvin. Passes to Preston. Munster makes the tackle. Classic style around the bootlaces. Dogs on the press. 2 metres out. Left and centre field Sexton. Through the hands to Mann. Dummies. Slips. Regathers. Dummies again. Gets up. Straightens. Mann eventually tackled. That's 5. Last play Canterbury Bankstown. 8 metres from the Melbourne line. Hayward to the right. Galvin passes to Tracy. Cut out ball to the edge. Carraz is over in the corner. And the Dogs dog set. Couple of huge plays from Toby Sexton in it. But it's Jacob Carraz going in. And the Bulldogs lead 10 points to 8 with a conversion attempt from the sideline to come.
Toby Sexton is the key to this Bulldog side. I don't care what anyone says. He's been absolutely outstanding since coming on the field. He scores a try. Every time he gets the ball, he's threatening the defensive line. They don't know if he's going to pass or if he's going to run. His short balls have been absolutely perfect. Satili Tupanua punching into holes. Again, really decisive here to go out to that right edge, give the ball early to Lockie Gowan, play out the back there to Connor Tracy. I thought he was going to run Connor Tracy, but he holds the ball up absolutely perfect. He knew he had the defence committed, and then a nice pass to find Carraz down the sideline, and that's a great try, and it gets the Bulldogs in front with 9.5 minutes left on the clock.
Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
Yeah, smart play by the Bulldogs on their right edge. But I tell you, if I'm Cameron Serraldo, I'm telling Jacob Carraz to put the ball down with two hands, because that ball very nearly came out as he went to put it down. News for the Melbourne Storm, Joe Chan has failed his HIA and won't be back.
So out of the game. Thanks, Hoffy. And we'll heard anything on Stephen Crichton yet?
He's on the bike down here. He's trying to get some movement. I think he would have had a couple of needles in the ankle just to try and get himself going.
Okay. Good work, Ryan. Matt Burton, right on the western touchline. 23 metres out to try and convert the try. 10-8 to the Dogs. 8.5 minutes left in the first half. Burton with his left boot approaches, strikes beautifully. Sideline conversion for Matt Burton. And Canterbury Bankstown lead Melbourne by 12 points to 8 late in this first half. Around the grounds in the AFL, Hawthorn 5-5, 35. Lead Adelaide 3-4, 22. Can't throw game there. Loser out, winner to a preliminary final against Geelong. That game's mid-second quarter. Well, the Dogs have settled well here, Louis. And Toby Sexton seems to have ignited this team in attack.
It's funny, a couple of things went against the Bulldogs, and it's like the footy gods going, well, if you want the Bulldogs to win, we need to get this man on the field. As soon as he's been on, the Bulldogs look like a totally different outfit.
Mini with the restart, not very deep. It's scored by Kickoff, 15 from the goal line. So Kickoff decides to run it back himself, and he's just beyond the 20 when tackled. Plays the ball there to Sexton, who gives it on to Renakama, and Jethro Renakama tackled midway goal line and halfway. Played to Hayward, give it to Mann through the right, Galvin onto Preston on the edge, runs into Munster, who's there to make the tackle in company with Lasati. Played to Hayward, men in motion infield. Tupanua's made an impact off the bench too. He's for 5 or 6 post contact metres here, eventually driven to deck, a metre inside Canterbury Bankstown territory. Played to Hayward, he's got Mann off his right shoulder, Kurt Mann right down the middle of the field, give him 8 on the gain. Last play, 42 from Melbourne's line. Burton's boot is a bomb, which is deep to Warbrick's corner, right to the goal line. Warbrick catches it. He sees the defence in front of him, takes the tackle just beyond the 10.
Well, that's what Warbrick needs to do. When he catches that ball, just run hard and straight. He's a handful when he does that. When he skips across field, he plays in the Bulldogs' hands and they eat him up. And he always looks a little bit suspect to come up with an error. But the Melbourne Storm, they're going to find something here because the Bulldogs are way on top.
Anderson had a run. Now Coates down the middle third, but there's still 25 from their own line. 12 points to 8. Bulldogs lead. Finals footy on ABC Sports, 7 minutes to the break. Howarth tackled 15 from halfway. Liero pops it up for Kamakamitha, who's out there. Big Tui off the bench. Plays it a dozen inside Melbourne territory into the set. Peasant with the kick downfield. Going for the 40-20. He's got good bend on it. And he's got it. Tracy was there, far touchline, trying to tap it in, but he couldn't. And Jonah Peasant comes up with a huge play. Melbourne to get the ball back, 15 from the goal line.
Yeah, good on you, Peasant. That's a big play. He needed to come up with it because Melbourne was shot, and he's the man to come up with it. He hits the line, goes out, gets the 40-20, and gives the Melbourne Storm some really good field position with 6.5 minutes left on the clock. But they've got to turn this into points.
Kamakamitha with the settling header. Taken only 8 metres out centre field, and the fans in Melbourne get behind their Storm. Grant to the left gives to Munster. Doesn't like it that side, so he runs in field himself, and it's pretty easy pickings for the tackling duo of Hayward and Preston. Plays it to Grant. Passes right. Liero through the hands. Peasant holds it, gives it to Anderson. Takes 2 in the tackle. Offloads to Warbrick. He's still 10 out. Runs in field. He's runs into man. Needs help and gets it from kick out to make the tackle. Only a metre from the Canterbury line. Storm played to Grant. Pass left Pezzett. Oh, the ball goes to Deck. It's on the grass and eventually Mini cleans up, but they've lost momentum. He pops it up. Give it to Lasati. He's grabbed onto by Galvin and put to Deck by Tuwala. Ball played a dozen out in the left. Grant runs out of dummy half infield. Pops it up to Munster. Back to the blind. He's passed on to Howarth. He's taken down by Karaz. Quick play the ball to Grant. Play inside Munster. Gives it on to Lasati. Crash ball line into the in goal. And that's Tavalu. Lasati scores in his first final, his first try of the year, and it's just the response the Storm needed. It levels the scores at 12 with a conversion attempt to come, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, Tavalu, how good is he? Big, strong, but what about the vision there from Cam Munster? Absolutely outstanding. I thought for sure they were going to go to the right-hand side and look for Elias Arkartoa on that crossfield kick, but they didn't. They come back to Munster. Really good work here. I thought he was going to throw a cutout pass. Plays nice and short. And then Versati, he just goes over as easy as you like. Just runs a nice, hard down line and goes, tackle me if you can. Just gets down nice and low and uses that big frame of his. And that is a really nice try. Good bounce back there from Melbourne.
They found another one, Hoffy, Adavalu Lasati.
Yeah, Adavalu Lasati, they got him from Penrith, not last year, the year before. He's been a really, really good player. He's come along in leaps and bounds, keeping along Lazarus Lepu out of the side. I think his versatility playing in the back row and be able to play in the middle is a great asset for Craig Bellamy. They needed to score that in the Melbourne Storm. They needed to start to convert some of this pressure into points. Their halfback, Jonah Pezzett, is having a great game. What I'm loving, he's playing really straight. He is straightening up the Melbourne Storm attack, which gives Cameron Munster a lot more room.
Meany about 4 metres in from the touchline on the western side. Left side for the right-footed kicker, 22 metres out. Great kick. Raises the flags. And the Storm return to the lead. Excellent opening, 40 minutes of football in this qualifying final. Still got a couple of minutes left before the break. Storm to the lead, 14-12, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, it's definitely gotten a lot more of a semi-final type game in the last sort of 20 minutes, hasn't it? Took their time to find their feet both sides, but now they've definitely hit their strides and they're both playing really good football. But that kick from Peasant was beautiful to set them up for that field position.
Second quarter AFL, it's Hawthorn 5-5-35, leading Adelaide 3-4-22. Call available on the Listen app for the red and blue button there. Restart taken by Munster and given to Kamakamika. And Big Tui almost to the 20 on the run. Plays the ball there to Grant. Give it to Howarth running infield and, well, he broke the first line but fell over in doing so. Jack Howarth gets to his feet and plays it on the 30. Now McDonald rails down the middle third. This has been a good set so far off the kickoff for Melbourne. McDonald plays it 10 inside Storm territory to the right. Liero, one out. Dummies, has to take contact from Kickow and also Tupanua plays it a couple of metres from halfway. Grant out of dummy half, goes blind side right, give it a Katoa, the first try scorer in the game, but he's put down by the tackle of Curran. Storm out on the right, 10 in from touch, 45 from the Dogs line. Last play of the set, Munster puts up a towering bomb. Tracy catches well, 15 from his own line, evades the first kick chase. In Anderson, he almost got around Warbrick as well, but Warbrick got him around the ankles. Nice catch from Tracy, who's had a few moments in the run into the finals, Connor Tracy, but he's been pretty secure at the back tonight for the Dogs as Burton has a run in midfield and he's going to be taken down 10 from halfway. Matt Burton to his feet, played the ball out of Hayward, given to the right, Curran onto Mann, now to Galvin, right edge, Preston onto Tuwala, met solidly by Howarth and put down. 8 in from touch on the western side, 2 metres from halfway. Played to Preston, who distributes infield. To Tupanua, he's hit by Lasati. Good tackle. Pushed him back a metre or so with some help there from McDonald. Dogs on the last 5 inside their own half. Sexton with the kick downfield at the end of the set. Again, high and deep to Warbrick's corner. Caught by the Storm winger, 12 from his own line. Kick return gets a metre or two beyond the 20. Down to Ryan Hoffman on the touchline. 2 minutes left in the first half. Storm lead 14-12.
Yeah, it's amazing what a try does to a team. The Melbourne Storm, that defensive set.
Lost ball by Coates. Sorry, Hoppy. Coates has dropped it and it's been picked up by Curran. He's tackled, so Canterbury get the ball back in attacking position. Hold that thought, Ryan. Right side run here from Karaz. He's taken 25 out and there's 6 more on the wavy fisty from Adam G. Ruck infringement from the Storm. To Banua, centre field, taken 25 out. Gets to his feet and plays the ball to Hayward. Directs it left for Sexton at the line. Second man to Galvin on the left, gives it to Kickoff. Kickoff steps in field, gets an offload away. Galvin runs laterally across the 20, now straightens, he's taken. 15 from the goal line in the tackle of Kamikamitha and McDonald. Play to Hayward, passed right through Curran to Man. Short ball onto Tupanua was forward. Forward pass to Tupanua on that right edge. And that diffuses the danger for the Storm. 70 seconds to the break and Melbourne lead at 14-12.
It's funny, every time I don't normally get nervous for the Melbourne side when they're down on their line, but the last couple of sets, the Bulldogs do look sharp, and especially in attack, the way that they're playing, because their halves are threatening to run, you're not too sure how they're going to go, and Melbourne are a little bit hesitant in defence. They get up and then they sort of backtrack a bit. So they've done a good job, the Bulldogs, to get up and make the Melbourne Storm a little bit nervous.
So what do the Storm do here? 40 seconds left in the half as the scrum is fed and won. 10 from their own line. See, this is, if Pappenhausen or Hughes were playing, this is where they try one of those little creative things. But of course, they're not there tonight. Whether or not they roll the dice, we'll wait and see. Katoa is taken. Just beyond the 20, 15 in from touch on the right. Grant's there at dummy half. Runs at the marker, pops a little past to Pezzett. Jonah Pezzett taken down by Burton. 15 seconds left in this first half. Melbourne lead 14-12. Grant receives on the 30, passes left through Liero to Munster. Now out towards the edge there, but no way through for Mini chiming in from the back. Last play of the half, Hooter sounds. Munster's got it on the left edge. He's trying to bounce his way through tacklers, but there's too much Dogs defence there. They run him over the touchline, and that is half-time in the first of the finals. And the qualifying final is led by the locals. Storm lead at 14-12 at half-time. 2 tries each in the opening 40. Katoa and Lasati scoring for Melbourne. Meany kicking both conversions and the penalty goal. While for the Bulldogs, Sexton and Carraz, the try scorers. Burton with 2 from 2. So it was 6-0 Storm, then 6-all, then 8-6 Storm, then 12-8 Bulldogs when Carraz had his try converted by Burton from out on the right. But the Lasati try 5 minutes from half-time and subsequent conversion gives Melbourne the lead after 40 minutes of finals footy, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, I thought the Melbourne Storm started really, really well. It took a while for the Bulldogs to find their feet. A couple of little injuries that didn't go in their favour. That sort of swapped and changed their team around, and then Sexton come on, and he really started the raid. He scored that great try for a beautiful ball from Viliami, and then again his show and go, his defence, his attack, his short balls, his combination with Satilli looked really, really good. So they really got back into the game. It was just a nice little play there from Peasant, comes up to that 40-20, and then they finally get that nice try to get back in front. But yeah, very even game of football now. Enjoying it. The last 20 minutes was brilliant. That was semi-final type football. The first 15-20, it just took them a little bit of time to find their mojo.
Down to Hoffy for a thought or two at half-time.
Yeah, it's really been a half of capitalising on errors. Both teams have created errors that have invited the other team into the game. Both teams had their chance of being on top, but it's just been an error that has invited the other team into it. The team that settles down and actually plays out their sets of 6 and consistently gets to their kick is the team that's going to come away with it in the end.
Thanks, Ryan. Great to have men that know what it's like at this time of year. Premiership winners Ryan Hoffman and Luke Lewis with you on Finals Footy on ABC Sport. My name's Quentin Hall. It's Melbourne 14 leading Canterbury Bankstown 12 at half-time. Repeating earlier today in the NRL W, Parramatta defeated the Bulldogs 46 points to 14. So the Eels go to 6 for the time being. So it means now that the Titans need to beat Canberra to reclaim a spot in the finals. That game is 1:45 local time tomorrow. And then, of course, the Knights are going to play that last round, the last game of the round, which will complete the finals picture. Just before the news around the grounds, in the AFL semi-final, that's a cutthroat game. The AFL week ahead of the NRL finals, so loser out, winner plays a preliminary final against Geelong, and it's Hawthorn 5-6-36 leading Adelaide 3-6-24. And keep your messages coming in on 0467 920 222. Half-time in the qualifying final in Melbourne. The Storm lead the Bulldogs by 14 points to 12. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the latest from the newsroom.
evening, I'm William Howard. US President Donald Trump is calling for a peaceful response to the assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. The FBI has released footage of the suspect, as the BBC's Nada Tawfiq reports.
The new footage picks up after the suspect fired the fatal shot and shows him running along a rooftop, then jumping off a building. He then heads towards a wooded area near the campus, where the authorities say they found a high-powered bolt-action rifle. 4 enhanced images taken from surveillance footage in a stairwell show more details of his clothing. Charlie Kirk's coffin has now been flown back from Utah to his native state of Arizona on Air Force 2.
More than 300 South Korean workers have returned home after spending a week in detention in the United States. North Asia correspondent James Oaten has more.
The workers were detained after a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in the state of Georgia. For years, South Korean companies had struggled to get short-term visas for the specialists needed at high-tech plants in the US. Past governments had turned a blind eye to a visa grey zone many relied on. The US and South Korea have agreed to work on visa issues to avoid mass deportations. South Korea has pledged to invest tens of billions of dollars in the US as part of tariff negotiations. James Oaten, ABC News.
China has warned Israel's bombing of Qatar this week could further fuel tensions in the region. Israel launched an unprecedented airstrike in a residential neighbourhood of the Qatari capital of Doha on Tuesday, in what Israeli authorities described as an attempt to assassinate members of Hamas. All 15 members of the UN Security Council, including the US, have condemned the strike without naming Israel as the perpetrator. Israel says it targeted Hamas members in the attack, but China's permanent representative, Fu Chong, says it violated Qatar's sovereignty.
The Gaza conflict has dragged on for nearly 2 years, resulting in an unprecedented and shocking humanitarian disaster. During this period, we have witnessed repeated violations of international law and the fundamental principles of international relations.
A decision by the federal government to extend the life of a major gas project in Western Australia's north is being labelled as disappointing. Woodside's Northwest Shelf Gas Project received final approval for an extension by the Environment Minister Murray Watt, who placed 48 additional conditions on the project aimed at protecting nearby ancient Indigenous rock art. Mr Watt also issued a partial declaration to protect the heritage site as part of a separate federal court challenge brought by traditional custodian Raylene Cooper. Her lawyer, Aileen Johnson, says it's inadequate.
The declaration that was made by the Minister for Environment, Minister Murray Watt, is disappointing in many ways. There is a 12-month time limit before the declaration will come into effect, and there are also carve-outs for harm to the rock art for industrial emissions.
An arrest has been made after a brawl erupted between protest groups at a Sydney beach in Sydney's east last weekend. Officers were called to Bondi Beach on Sunday morning after pro-Palestinian protesters and a counter-protest group clashed. Police say a 29-year-old man from Edmondson Park is being charged with affray and common assault, though investigations are ongoing. Potential delays at Sydney Airport this afternoon have been averted after a temporary shortage of air traffic controllers was fixed. Air Services Australia says there were earlier concerns for capacity due to a number of employees off sick. In sport, Canberra Raiders coach Ricky Stewart says he's not putting any extra pressure on his team ahead of their finals clash. The minor premiers will take on the Broncos on Sunday in front of a sold-out Canberra crowd. Stewart says he and the players are feeling comfortable about the job ahead.
Going into this series has been an advantage not having that extra pressure, especially having such a young group of players. I'm certainly not putting pressure on to win the match. I just need them to play individually, play well, and see what comes of it. We'll be giving it 100% crack.
And the Australian basketball community is paying tribute to player and coach Tiana Mankahia, who has died from breast cancer aged 30. The Queensland-born guard was a feature of the WNBL whilst also playing overseas and representing Australia on the world stage. You're up to date with the very latest. ABC News.
What makes music so powerful?
Just destroyed me.
Find out how it's shaped Lord, Paul Kelly, and more in the brand new season of Take 5 with me, Sam Rowe. Stream all the episodes on ABC iView.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Final Series.
Nick Meaney kicks off for the Storm. The finals for 2025 are underway. 31 from the Dogs line went tackled. Grant now passes left. There's it. Holds it up. Pops it on Munster. Gives it on to Chan. Chan through half a hole before the defence comes across and Tracy makes an important tackle 10 metres out. Grant passes right through Munster, through Peasant to the right edge and Eli Katoa, as he's done all season, scores on the right edge for the Storm. The opening try of the finals goes the way of the purple. To the left, Salmon to Galvin on the kick out. Tried the offload and Sexton picks it up, goes into the end goal area. He thinks it's come off his legs. And I think the referee is going to have a look at that as well. He's gone into the end goal. Let's tune in here to Ref Adam G.
I believe that it's his knee and also his arm on the no try.
Protect possession cleanly now.
And Tony Sexton on return to the team.
Ground the ball. We have a decision.
Scores the opening try for Canterbury Bankstown, which should level things up. He scored under the sticks. Through the hands to Mann. Dummies. Slips. Regathers. Dummies again. Gets up. Straightens. Mann eventually tackled. That's 5. Last play, Canterbury Bankstown. 8 metres from the Melbourne line. Hayward to the right. Galvin passes to Tracy. Cut out ball to the edge. Carraz is over in the corner. And the Dogs lead in Melbourne. Ball played a dozen out the left. Grant runs out a dummy half infield. Pops it up to Munster. Back to the blind. He's passed on to Howard. He's taken down by Carraz. Quick play the ball to Grant. Blindside Munster gives it on to Lusati. Trash ball line into the end goal. And that's Avalu Lusati scores in his first final. His first try of the year. And it's just the response the Storm needed. Meaney about 4 metres in from the touchline on the western side. Left side for the right-footed kicker, 22 metres out. Great kick. Raises the flags. And the Storm return to the lead. Excellent opening, 40 minutes of football in this qualifying final.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Final Series.
Finals footy on ABC Sport in 40 minutes to, if you weren't already ready for the month of footy ahead, just to really encourage you to lay back and enjoy the best time of the year. Quentin Hull with premiership winners and internationals Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman in Melbourne, and the Storm leading the Bulldogs by 14 points to 12, 2 tries apiece in that opening half, and storylines are plenty. Joe Chan's out of the game having failed a head injury assessment. We saw Xiaomi Mi go down in the opening exchanges. He went off with what was then deemed as a Cat 2 and he passed his HIA. He's back out there. Stephen Crichton's got a leg injury, and then we saw the return of Toby Sexton coming off the bench for Canterbury Bankstown and igniting that Canterbury attack, and Dogs fans everywhere. We can hear you shouting, "Where's this been?" Toby Sexton playing his first game since round 19 has been a big part of the Dogs being right in this. On the SMS 0467 920 222, Bogger from Rocky texts, "I don't get it. Kick Out show definite signs of concussion. Cat 2 ridiculous. Chan no signs, just opens up and fails the HIA. Questionable." Thank you, Bogger from Rocky. 0467 920 222. Yeah, I must admit, we saw Joe Chan get cut, Louis, but didn't see. Well, I think we were probably more drawn to the blood around his mouth more so than the signs of concussion. And Kickoff, he did go limp for a second or two.
Yeah, Kickoff was an interesting one. I felt like he got hit, and then he was still with it, and then he fell off and went limp. It was a bit of maybe a delayed one. I'm not too sure, but Chan's. I don't know. I didn't see any. I just seen the head clash, but I think it was a pretty heavy head clash, and the HIA tests are actually quite hard to pass. He probably couldn't speak properly too with that lip. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
So we came into this game sort of questioning the form and the selection, because we saw all of those late changes. Melbourne losing their last 2, the Dogs having won only once in their past 4 games, and that was against a weakened Penrith. I think this was always the game where we were more sort of with questions about, well, what are we going to see? I.e., firstly from the team, secondly from how they're going. So what's 40 minutes of footy taught you, Louis?
Well, the first 20 minutes told me that both sides were nervous because the second 20 they were really, really good. And for me, Toby Sexton's the difference for the Bulldogs. He needs to stay in this side. They need to find a spot for him. But the way that he plays, the way that he gets their attack on the front foot, he's demanding. You can see his leadership out there, the way that he speaks. So, look, I think he's a massive part of it. But it's funny how it worked. A couple of injuries, a couple of little things that went against the Bulldogs. They had to shift the team around, and he gets his opportunity to get the Bulldogs back in the game. Melbourne, I think, will just be coming out and complete and start playing a little bit full. I'd like to see him shift the ball a little bit more out of their own end and make some easy meters as well.
Yeah, these are the kinds of games where the longer it's tight, we see Melbourne do Melbourne things. And the question is, Cameron Serrato and the Bulldogs know exactly what's coming at them. Are they good enough to be able to, one, repel it, and two, win the game?
Yeah, well, they would have done their homework. They've played them a fair few times. They've just got to hang in there. They just can't let Melbourne score a couple of tries back to back and have no answer for it. If they score early, that's fine, but you've got to get straight back down the other end and try and get some points back on the board. But I feel like if Melbourne go try, I think the Bulldogs might get a little bit nervous and scared.
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks ago when they played at this venue, and Melbourne won that game 20 points to 14. A couple of choice changes to the teams, but we do have recent form line between these two. Dogs are out there. Here come the Storm. Word or two from Ryan Hoffman on the touchline before this second half gets underway.
Yeah, message from the Melbourne Storm camp. They really just need to stay in the fight. That's the message from Craig Bellamy. Complete your sets of 6 and stay in the fight. We'll get the message from the Bulldogs shortly. But look, for both teams, it really is this first 5 minutes. Getting to your kick, force the other team to come out of their own edge. Stephen Crichton is gone. He is scrubbed out with that left ankle injury, possibly syndesmosis.
Well, we've just seen a shot on the big screen. That's huge beyond this evening. Crichton has come out on crutches with a moon boot on his left leg. That's huge beyond this evening for the Bulldogs captain. His second year at the club captain and 3-time premiership winner. He's out of tonight, and he'll be a big watch beyond this evening. Let's play this second half. Dogs kick off. Melbourne lead the game 14 points to 12. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. Kamika meet the first carry, and now Lasati, first half try scorer. He takes the second carry. He's pushed back a metre or two. Plays it just inside the 20. Alec McDonald now has it for Melbourne. He's swarmed on by enthusiastic defence led by Curran and kick out. And the Storm play at 25 from their own line. Grant to the right. Gives it on to Katoa. Crashes into the defence and takes the ball to Deck. 20 in from the western side, just beyond the 30. Plays the ball to Grant. Given on to Liero, rolling down the middle third. Trent Liero put on his back on the red stripe at the 40 at the northern end of the field. Last play of the opening set. It's a kick from Pezzett downfield. High with his right boot. Tracy's underneath it. Catches it on the 20. Does the Dogs fullback. Kick return gains about a dozen metres before he meets the tackle of McDonald, who's there to put him down. Dogs to start this set 18 metres inside their own half. So Canterbury's first possession. The second half, Rinakama receives and he's pushed back a metre or two. The young winger with no gain there. Plays the ball there to Sexton, given on to Carraz. Carraz has stopped, 15 from halfway quick. Play the ball to Hayward. He passes right, given to Galvin. Into the defensive line. Grant's there to make the tackle with Lasati. And he'll play it Lockie Galvin just inside Canterbury territory. Burton to boot downfield at the end of the set. The left foot drop punt goes high to the skies. Warbrick's corner is being peppered. He catches defensive right side. Got through kick out pretty easily before Sexton makes the tackle. Storm start the set on the 30.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. As soon as Warbrick gets that ball and he runs straight, he's a handful. So that's what he needs to continue to do. But a good set by both sides. They've just come out, got through their sets, got to a kick, and just trying to get a little bit of a feel for this second half.
Coach to the 40. Now Grant out of dummy half. Just one of those runs that tests the defensive line. He passes to Katoa, but he's put down Eli Katoa. 15 in from touch on the right and 5 from halfway. Meany receives and runs infield. Nick Meany with the number 1 on it is back tonight. It's his 5th start at fullback for the year. He plays at 45 metres out end of the set. Give it a Pezzett for a shallow bomb. Tracy leaps and catches and diffuses the bomb. is tackled a couple of metres in from the western side and 22 metres from the Canterbury Bankstown end. They're defending the southern end in this second half. And what is a gorgeous night for footy in Melbourne. We did have a little shower or two come across the city in the afternoon, but there's been no rain since the game began, and conditions perfect for September football in Melbourne. Burton has a carry. Kiraz, he just does so much work. Another run down the middle from Kiraz. Taken 5 metres from halfway. Played to Hayward. Give it to Tracy. Tracy down the middle third and put down on 5, just attacking side of halfway for Canterbury. Last play of the set is another Burton bomb. It's a left footer again to Warbrick's wing. Lee leaps and catches and put down on his 20. We've had 3 minutes of the second half. No change to the half-time score. It's Melbourne 14, leading Canterbury Bankstown 12. Ryan Hoffman's a close hand down on the touchline.
It's the battle of the bombs at the moment. Both teams are just getting to the opposition 50 and then just sticking up a bomb to land on the 20. It's really coming down to the hard carries just to try and keep forcing the opposition back set by set.
Howarth takes the ball up to the 40, plays the ball to Grant, again takes a step or two out of dummy half before leaking with McDonald, beats the first line of defence, taken down by Tupanua. Melbourne 41 metres out, end of the set off. Peasant's pushed off his kick by great pressure from Curran, and Peasant kicks it out on the full. Great work from Josh Curran. Peasant just taking that extra step, Louis, and great pressure from Curran to force the error.
Yeah, well, he couldn't feel that pressure coming from his inside there from Curran. And Peasant felt like he had plenty of time to get that kick right. A nice little push on the hip there and just throws him off balance and kicks the ball into touch on the full. So, and they're just back into a bit of an arm wrestle. Both sides just going back and forth at the moment, not getting too many opportunities.
Burton up to halfway for the Bulldogs. Plays it to Hayward, giving it to Wala. Anari Tuwala played a couple of finals with Newcastle. This is his first final with the Dogs. Plays at 40 from the goal line. Melbourne's defending to the right for Preston. Give him 6 metres on the gain down the blind side right. Preston to play it. 20 in from touch on the right and 33 metres out. Hayward shoves the pass to left and infield through Mann to Sexton on the kick out. At the defence, pops it up to Galvin. Gives it to Burton. Puts it under his wing. Great tackle from Anderson. Around his ankles. Puts him down 15 out in the left. Last play for Canterbury. Sexton kicks high towards the right side. It's off the hands of Kiraz into the in-goal area and fielded by the Storm.
Knock on by Bulldogs.
Yep. Knock on Kiraz out to the 10 for the play the ball. By the way, that Listen app, if you're away during September, great way to keep in touch with the finals. Take it around the world with you. G'day to Scott from Tweed. He's listening while on a cruise in Istanbul. So good on you, Scott. Nice to hear from you. 0467 920 222. Green button for the NRL, red and blue button for the AFL across this greatest of football months. No change to the halftime scoreline. Storm lead 14-12. They're on the 30. Melbourne to the right. Munster through the hands to the edge. Warbrick over the 40. Up towards halfway. Steps infield. Beats kick out. Great tackle. Sexton coming from behind to stop him. And he's got one in the throat, I think. Sexton. Or maybe a stinger down to Ryan Hoffman. Close at hand on the touchline.
Yeah, he seems to be grabbing his pec on his shoulder, sort of stretching the pec back. Maybe when Will Warbrick came on the inside, just stretched it a bit more on him. But he's in a bit of pain there.
Now, someone's just been put on report for an earlier tackle.
That's what Melbourne need to do, though. That little shift, that simple little shift to that right edge. They eat up 35, 40 metres. Their outside man is Berry, and it was Curran who gets put on report.
Yeah, just trying to work that out. So that was for a high tackle. He just saw the crossed arms and a point to a different part of the ground earlier in the set. Anyway, Sexton's up and okay. Ball back in motion. McDonald's got it for Melbourne. That's play 5. He's tackled 45 out. Last play for the Storm. Peasant with a deep kick this time with his right boot. Tracy, a metre in the field of play, catches it comfortably. Good defensive ball in front of him though from the Storm, and he's put down only 5 metres from that southern end. 14-12. Melbourne lead Canterbury Bankstown. Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman with you for finals footy on ABC Sport. Brinakama to the 10. Now Carraz with another carry. Oh, an optimistic offload. It's a good one too. Giving to Galvin a bit of second phase here. Galvin gains an extra couple of metres. Plays it short of the 20. Hayward directs it left for kick out. Had that head knock earlier in the game. He's here getting an offload to Burton. Burton trying to step through the tackle of Anderson, but he grasses him. And Burton plays it 15 from halfway hard on the left. Back to right in centre field. Sexton through Curran to Mann, who takes a right foot step and straightens. Kurt Mann, of course, a former Storm player. Played a couple of finals for Melbourne more than a decade ago. Can you believe that? Kick at the end of the set from Burton. It's deep. Warbrick catches it a dozen from his own line, decides to run it back at them. And again, Sexton's there. He's playing hurt, but he makes the tackle with some help from Curran. Down to Ryan Hoffman on the... Oh, Munster's gone down.
No, he just laid down. He was trying to get out of the way. He just hurt himself. He just didn't want to become an obstructor.
I must admit, though, that caught the corner of the eye. Meany almost steps his way through. Hayward's there to make the tackle with Mann. Get you in a moment, Hoffy. Melbourne 15 from halfway as Coates in the middle third. The big winger. We have not seen any air Coates at all tonight. There just hasn't been the field position for a kick to get the flying Xavier to the skies. Plays it near halfway to the right. Munster gives to Peasant. Dummy and straighten. Offload to Katoa. Plus to the wing for Warbrick on the 30. Great cover defence from Renakama. The young man brings down Warbrick on the 20 on the right. Last play of the set. Peasant kicks towards the left wing. There he is on cue. Air Coates, he catches, chucks it backwards, but straight to Tuala of the Dogs. And Tuala has it briefed one away from him by Howard. And the referee says, knock on in doing so. Knock on in doing so. Well, as soon as I mentioned we hadn't seen the kick for Coates.
I'll tell you what, if that's where Hughes comes in, right? If Hughes gets the ball there, even though Peasant's been doing a good job, if Hughes gets the ball there, he puts it on the try line. Coach gets up and above, and then you're going to hold him up. You're never going to stop him there. You just got to get that kick right on the money, and that's try time for the Melbourne side.
Hoffy, down to you on the touchline.
Yeah, I think Jonah Peasant is just hearing footsteps a bit just with his kicks after that one where he got put under pressure by Curran. I was just about to give Jack Howard the rap, actually. There has been some really good things come off the back of his runs. Alec McDonald's got some good line speed, really getting in behind the ruck.
A ticket to the preliminary final is the reward for tonight's victor. The loser plays the winner of tomorrow's game between the Warriors and Penrith. That's a cutthroat game at 4 o'clock. Of course, all of the finals here live on ABC Sport as Preston's got it for Canterbury Bankstown. And what an impressive player he is. His young career, he's on the edge of Origin selection. He plays it on the 30 there. Now Tupanua gains 10 down the middle, being good off the bench. Hayward, one-handed pick up a dummy half. No one at marker. Pinches a check, doesn't. Good play from Bailey Hayward. Last play for Canterbury Bankstown here. 45 from Melbourne's line. Give it to Sexton. It's a high, deep kick. They are peppering Warbrick. He catches it again. And he's on the 10 running laterally before Mann's there to make the tackle. Repeating, Stephen Crichton is not out there for the Bulldogs. He's got his left leg in a moon boot. He's out of the game. Joe Chan not out there for the Storm. He failed a head injury assessment, so there's been a bit of damage in the injury ward in this first final. We've had 10 minutes of the second half. It's still Melbourne 14 leading Canterbury Bankstown 12. Katoa's got it on his 30. Got an offload away to Grant. Pops it up there to Meany. Fends away from one, running laterally. Nick Meany tries to get through Galvin. Drags him down with help from Tuala. Meany plays at 11 inside Melbourne territory. Grant blindside given to Lasardi. Pops it up to Howard. Taken down by Tupanua. Maybe a little high. That's what the crowd's going on about. Ref says no. Last play Melbourne. Hard out in the left and 45 from the Dogs line. Peasant this time with a spiral torpedo downfield. Caught well by Tracy in the defensive right corner. 5 from his own line. Give him 10 on the carry, Louis. He'll start the set 15 from his own line.
Yeah, it wasn't the best hit there from Peasant, but puts a little bit of pressure on Tracy. He does a good job, gets the ball and just sprints straight back and gets down low and just eats up a quick, easy 10 metres. But both sides, you can see the energy really zapped out of him. It's absolutely flying out there, speed-wise.
and high-paced grind. It's a finals-type grind out there. Carraz has taken 20 in from the right, 15 from halfway. Melbourne 14, Canterbury Bankstown 12. Hayes got it now in the middle third, taken down on the red stripe with a 40 inside his own half. Last play of the set coming up for Canterbury. Burton from just outside the 40, high and deep. Oh, they say yours! Warbrick to Mini, yours! It bounces between them, it bounces kindly. And Warbrick takes it on the goal line and gets back to the 10. Crusher from Kurt Mann. And Mann gives him a gobful, so he's marched 10 metres. Let's tune in to referee G. Well, Mann just walked straight past him. I thought he was going to have a chat to him.
Yeah, I don't think it was Kurt Mann that got done for the back chat. I think it was someone else who was back chatting him and give away another 10 metres. They're going to kick upfield nicely here. They're going to get a tap right on the 40-metre line.
Yeah, not on report, but definitely Crusher tackle was the original call and then given 10 for a bit of lip. Kick finds touch 10 from halfway. Katoa gets the Storm basically to the halfway line at the start of this new set. 28 minutes left in the qualifying final in Melbourne. Storm lead 14-12. Uda Ikamano hits defence, gets an offload. Meany passes left edge for Howarth. He's dragged down by Tuala. Nice tackle. Howarth to play it out in the left for the Storm. 45 from the Canterbury line. Or Coates just sort of looked in field and McDonald had overrun his line, so Coates has to run himself. Taken on a gain of 7 or 8. Plays it to Grant. Given to Uda Manu gets through the tackle of Mann before being dragged down from behind by Hayes and Hayward. 25 out. Melbourne with a bit of rumble about this set to the right. Munster through, Peasant through, Katoa. The tip to the wing is okay. Went behind Warbrick. He picks it up. He runs in field but runs into the tackle.
They've got to get this on the money. They've got to get this on the line.
Last play. Are they going to go for the Coates kick? Peasant on the 20. No, he just kicks towards the in-goal area. Rinakama leaps and catches in the field of play and is taken in the in-goal area. Goal line dropout coming up for Canterbury Bankstown.
Yeah, Peasant just takes so long to get the ball from his hand to his foot, so he sort of freaks out a little bit. He's got to get that kick to one-on-one with Coates. They're open. They've got plenty of room. I don't see anyone stopping Coates over there, but he's just a little bit nervous with his kicking game, like Hoppy said earlier.
Right on the touchline.
Yeah, this is a real war of attrition. This is fast. It's got to be interesting to see what Craig Bellamy is thinking about Tyron Wishart. His legs being through the middle could put a lot of pressure on these tied forwards.
Burton with the short option. 15 on the fly. Ricochet off a number of hands. Referee says...
double knock on. Bulldogs first.
Dogs knock on. So it'll be a Melbourne ball. 19 metres out. 14 points to 12 the scoreline. Melbourne leading Canterbury Bankstown. No change in the 14 minutes we've played in this second half. Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Holtman bringing finals footy to you on ABC Sport. Of course, from 2 o'clock tomorrow we'll have the lead into the Warriors v Panthers. All that after Declan Saturday Sledge, which starts at noon. And then Louis and the crew, part of the panel, leading into the Warriors Penrith call, and then Glenn and the team down in the Shire for the Sharkies against the Roosters. Melbourne right side shift. Meany taken down by Burton. 1-on-1, only 10 metres out. 10 in from touch on the right. So Melbourne off that scrum. Right side shift almost get through. Back to centre field now. Peasant pops it up for Liero, but can't get through and he's pushed back. Great defence led by Salmon. 13 on 13. Liero steps off the mark. And the referee says, no, you can't do that. He just pushes Salmon as well.
No, well, Salmon pushed him.
And a bit of tay-tay-tay there. Now back to the footy. Left edge, Munster, 1 out. 3 around him though. And Cam Munster can't get through. The Queensland skipper, 12 from the goal line. Blindside Grant gives it on to Lasati. This young man's hard to stop, but Tuala's there with Tracy to tackle him. Played to Grant, the Storm of 5 metres out, back to the right in centre field. Munster to Liero to Peasant. Hard run line, Katoa, great tackle, kick out. Drags him down, couple of metres out. Last play Melbourne. Grant passes left for Munster. Grubbers for the in-goal area. And it's seen dead by Galvin. Goal line dropout Dogs. And again, Louis, you're exasperated. They cannot get that kick to Air Coates' wing.
Well, Munster was the man. He had it sorted there. He just had to put it over. He had a one-on-one with about 10 metres, no one around him. There was going to get not one Bulldog inside, except for a one-on-one with him and Carraz. And I back coaching every day of the week.
Seem to be going away from that one wood at the moment, the Storm. Melbourne 14, Canterbury Bankstown 12. Again, Burton. Similar restart. 11 metres on the fly. Carraz has got it. He juggled in that contest with Mini, and Carraz wins the ball for Canterbury Bankstown. Huge play. He has been a massive inclusion in the team, Jacob Carraz. He's had a huge night for the Dogs. Tuala on a gain of 10. Now Hayes up to the 30. And Harry Hayes is there. He'll play the football, make it 18 from halfway. Hayward passes left from Salmon to Sexton. The kick out on the left edge. Good read to Anderson. The kick out gets an offload to Tracy. Passes to the left edge there for Burton. Burton's going to be held up in the defence of Katoa and also Grant. The Dogs are 11 inside their own half on the left edge. Hayward back to right in centre field. Curran dummies and straightens. Gets to halfway. Three-man Storm tackle. Puts him down. And a killer. Hand on ball. Fifth play penalty.
Yeah, I don't agree with this, mate. I think he makes a clean tackle here, Harry Grant. He gives a penalty about, that's it, 5 seconds after the tackle's been made. He comes in behind. He makes a tackle above the leg, slides down. I think that's fine.
Well, yeah, for a moment I thought the way the referee gave the signal, I thought it was for in the rugby. No, they've got Harry Grant for the cannonball.
Well, it's not a cannonball.
Well, but that's what they...
I know what you're saying, yeah, but I don't think it is a cannonball.
So big call from referee G, and this gives the Bulldogs kick downfield and a fresh set. They find touch, 30 out. Burton taps and goes, gains 8 metres. So Canterbury now 22 metres from the Storm line. Melbourne leading 14-12 with 23 minutes left in the game. Curran on a straightening run, dozen metres from the goal line, slightly left of the H pole at the Slater stand end. Played to Hayward, pass right for Salmon. Given to Hayes on the inside line. Hayes is put down by the tackle of McDonald and Udawikamanu, 5 out. Hayward to the right, given to Galvin, holds it up for Preston. Preston's got 3 and 4 defenders around him. Howarth leads the tackling brigade to put down Preston out on the right edge. Played to Hayward, pass back left and centre field. Galvin through the hands to Salmon, give it on to Sexton. Left edge, kick out of Burton. Burton beats 1, beats 2, and scores to return Canterbury Bankstown to the lead. Dogs fans are up in Melbourne. Matt Burton scores. And so telling first points after a really attritional start to their second half. Canterbury Bankstown 16, Melbourne 14, kick to come.
Yeah, good work for the Bulldogs, but put this try down to their defence, down there on their goal line. That's why they get their opportunity down here. They defended well, they waited, they got their opportunity, they got a penalty that they were looking for, and a really simple shift over that left edge. They go through the hands, they're all running overs, but Melbourne, they just ran out of numbers. And it was a simple one-on-one missed tackle there. Matty Burton goes over as he was like, but I tell you what, he looks really strong tonight with his carries, Matty Burton, and that's a great job. But now they've got to defend. Last time they got in front, they let the Melbourne Storm straight back in.
Ryan Hoffman down on the touchline.
Yeah, the Bulldogs hadn't had much opportunity here in the second half. First opportunity they get, and you're right, Louis, it was just a simple one-on-one miss. Burton goes straight through. I tell you what, this right centre position for the Bulldogs is absolutely cursed. Anari Tuala coming from the field. I watched him on the previous play. He looked like he got sniped. So both starting centres for the Bulldogs are gone.
He sort of got half a trot in a limping motion coming to the sideline, Tuala. So Crichton, he's on the bench in a moon boot with crutches, and now Tuala's gone. So, boy, haven't they had to go to their reserves tonight, the Bulldogs. Burton will try and convert his own try from 5 in from touch on the left and about 24 metres out. Just felt that was pretty big, particularly for the visiting team, the Dogs. After a real grind to start the second half, Louis.
Oh, absolutely it was. It really good work. They had to defend their line, back, couple of line dropouts. They get the ball back eventually, and then just a simple little penalty gets them a bit of field position and really good skill to go over to that left side, and a simple little one-on-one missed tackle, but a strong carry from Matty Burton.
Taking his time over this kick. from 2 already tonight, Matt Burton. Lead is 2 for the Bulldogs. Eyes the uprights at the Slater stand end, approaches and strikes and raises the flags. Boy, they're making some noise, those in the Royal Blue and White here in Melbourne. They're outnumbered, but the Doggies fans are up around the country looking for a breakthrough finals win. The Dogs lead at 18-14.
Yeah, it's a good, great kick there from Matty Burton. Scores a try, backs up a beautiful kick from the sideline. And there's the crowd there, Q.
22,117 tonight. 22,117. Oh, Ryan, what are you feeling down on the touchline?
The Bulldogs are just going to be happy to get 17 fit players. Well, they definitely don't. They've only got 15 fit players at the moment. The changes are Curran has gone to right back row and Preston looks like to have gone to the centres. And for the Melbourne Storm, Tyron Wishart is on the field.
Well, he's such an important player for Melbourne and he's been a part of so many big back ends of games. He's here in the tackle, play 2 off the kickoff. Dogs have got to be on the 20. And the tireless Jacob Carraz, he gets to his feet, looks a little sore as he plays the ball there. What a we keep saying it, but he has just been in everything tonight. Hayes down the middle, third, 15 from halfway. Kickoff's overcome that head knock early in the game. Charges left edge, he's a couple of metres from halfway. Plays it to Hayward, given to Tracy. Bounces up into attacking territory. Taken down 45 from the Melbourne line. Last play for Canterbury from the kickoff. They've got to attacking territory just. Burton now with a high kick at the end of the set. Mini catches it well on his chest hand from his own line, but a great chase led by Sexton and Salmon and Hayes and Hayward. They're all there. And the Storm will start their set only 10 metres from that northern in goal area. Canterbury Bankstown leading 18-14. Friday night finals footy on ABC Sport. There's 19 and a half minutes left in the qualifying final. Winner straight to the prelim. Loser to face the Warriors or Penrith next. Where does Wishart charges into the defence? He's taken down Storm and 9 inside their own half. Plays the ball to Grant. Pass left and centre field for Liero. Charging down the middle third and 3 or 4 post contact metres before he stopped and plays at 45 from the Dogs line. End of the set, Pezzett again with a right foot bomb. Pretty shallow. Renakama and Mini leap. The ball ricochets away. Munster picks it up. He's tackled by King and the referee calls change-over knock-on from the Storm in that challenge for the ball. I think captain's challenge.
They are. Storm are challenging. We've got tackle 5 coming in to 6. Got a knock-on from the initial contest that goes forward. I can
understand why his challenge is. I reckon it's because Adam G lets it run. And then he goes, oh no, I'm going to say that was a knock-on. So I can understand why he's challenging it. But,
yeah, it looks like it came off Renakama's pecs. The young Dogs left side winger.
It touches his hand and then goes into Anderson. It goes into his hand after it. Good challenge, I reckon.
Just waiting for Ash Klein in the bunker, who's having a look at this one. Fans eyeing those big screens in the corners of this boutique rectangular stadium.
Comes off the hand of Jethro first, into the hand of Melbourne. The challenge is successful.
Yeah, you called it, Louis. Good challenge from the Storm. 18 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game, and Melbourne will get another set on attack here.
The good thing about, sorry to cut you off there, Q, I reckon the good thing about Melbourne Storm and their attack here is they've got Wishart on the field. And I reckon he will add a massive dimension to this Melbourne Storm attack, because at the moment they haven't really been offering a whole lot. So let's see what they can come up with.
Storm, the September specialists, are trailing against a Dogs team, a club that hasn't won a final in 10 years. They'll be barking at Belmore if they can get to the preliminary final tonight. As the Storm to the left, Pezzett gives it on to Munster, passes to Meany. Good right side shift defensively from the Dogs. Galvin makes the tackle with Curran. Meany plays it a dozen out in the left. Munster distributes infield to Wishart. Pops it up to Liero. Straightening run from Trent Liero. And he's pushed push back a metre or two. We'll play it centre field and 20 metres out. Grant looks left, gives it to Munster. Munster at the line, pops the pass to Mini, passes there to Howard, has to run infield. There was a problem, was he? No, he kept it okay. Carraz made the tackle. Back to Munster in centre field, storm to the right. Liero charges into the tackle of Hayward. Good tackle. Played 15 metres out to the right. Wishart gives it from Pezzett to Katoa. Ellie Katoa dragged down by Sexton and Burton. Last play, Louis pointing to the Aircoats wing. No, they run it blindside. Anderson goes at the line himself, but he's tackled a couple of metres out, and Luke Lewis cannot believe the tactics from the Melbourne Storm at the end of that set. Handover.
Do they realise they've got to stop it here?
Anderson's hurt.
Do they realise they got one of the best catches in the game, standing on that left edge with no one around him? It's like he must have done something to training this week and said, mate, you're not getting any crossfield kicks or any ball, but he's getting nothing. He's not even getting a look at it, coach.
Down to Ryan Hoffman on the touchline.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern here for Grant Anderson. Oh, does that constitute a hip drop?
So he definitely drops down.
He drops his whole weight on the leg, and Grant Anderson is quite hurt.
And he's hits his ankle.
It's Matt Burton at the bottom of that tangle.
I wouldn't say it's a hip drop though, I'd say it's an accidental one. It looks like he's fallen over his player, but that's going to be a play ball.
So where's Anderson's limping back into the defensive line. He does have his right knee heavily strapped. Storm fans don't like it. 17 and a half minutes to go, and Canterbury lead the game 18-14. Only one try in this second half to Matt Burton, the man who was perhaps at the crux of that tackle. Kick out up to the 20. Quick play the ball. Here's Burton, almost falling over himself, stumbling as he charges forward. Good run. Taken 15 from halfway. Played to Hayward. Given to King. Max King down the middle third, upended in a strong tackle though by Liero and Wishart. Plays the ball to Hayward. Given to the right from Salmon, who dummies and straightens. Jamin Salmon with 3 around him on halfway. That's 5. End of the set for the Bulldogs. It's going to be a kick from Sexton. Kicks it. Oh, he's overhit it. He's overhit it. Toby Sexton's kicked it out on the ball. He's done some good things tonight, but that's a mistake. As soon as he kicked it, you could see the flight path was not good for the Dogs, and Warbrick watched it float a metre beyond the touchline.
Well, we gave him way too many raps in the first half, poor Toby Sexton, and I was watching his body language. He knew as soon as he hit that ball, he just looked straight down, and he's cursing himself. And this is another opportunity now for Melbourne. Surely they get their attack right. They've looked very, very flat in attack, Melbourne.
Hidui Kamanu with a weird offload. He was tackled, chucked out the back, and Munster has to retrieve a ball which was probably 10 metres behind where the original, or the play the ball could have taken place. Munster plays it on halfway. Hidui Kamanu bounces off Salmon, but is tackled 45 metres out. King there to stop him. Played to Grant, passes right for Wishart, steps off his right and upended in a great tackle from Max King, who got underneath him, drove him into the deck. Played to Grant, pass left through Pezzett to Munster, second man Meany, dummies and straightens, dragged down by Galvin. Nice tackle. Played out in the left by the Storm. They're 25 out, back to right in centre field. Munster through the hands, Liero to Pezzett. To the right edge, Katoa. He's held up. He bounces once and twice away from Sexton. Runs into King and Kickoff, and now Sexton helps out as well. And that's play 5. Katoa plays it. 12 out in the right. Last play, Melbourne. Pezzett scrub it for the in-goal area. Meany's coming through, but it's tapped dead before Nick Meany can field the ball. But again, they go along the ground.
I was getting checked here. He's saying it did come off the Bulldogs, but they're just checking it. And Nick Meany's still on the ground in the in-goal.
Just having a look at the big screen. Well, Meany was close. Preston, I think, was the Bulldogs player there, ensuring it went dead. Yeah. Did Tracy push Meany? That's what they might be looking at.
Oh, I didn't even look at that. I was just looking at the ball.
Now, Harry Grant's come up.
It's yours. It's yours. No, Harry. No. All complete.
All Harry Grant's asking the question on whether... Yeah, it was just a tangle of bodies, but... Nick! Head injury assessment for Nick Meany. Okay. So So Meany puts his mouth guard in his socks and he'll jog off.
That means Wishart's going back to fullback.
15 and a half minutes left in the game. Canterbury Bankstown, they're 2 men down, by the way. Crichton and Tuala are off, both with leg injuries. Storm are a man down with Chan off with a far HIA. Now Meany goes for a head injury assessment. And Josh King comes back onto the field. Goal line drop out here for the Bulldogs. And we'll get play back underway. Burton again going to that right side with about 16 or 17 on the fly. Coates bats it backwards. King's got it from Melbourne, and King's going to run it upfield. It'll be tackled out 15 metres out, so Melbourne get the ball off the contestable restart. Grant, though, to the left, gives it to Wishart. Inside line, Udawikamanu runs into the tackle of Hayes and Salmon. Kickow's there as well to drag him down. That's 6 more, though, on Kickow's extra grab. Melbourne with a ping to the right. Munster trying to buzz his way around. He drops it out the back, cleaned up by Pezzett. Pezzett, he tries to get through, but Hayes there to tackle him. A bit of a flop from Kickow. 6 more, that's the second from Xiaomi. He's on notice. To the left, it's Liero. Dragged down one-on-one by Curran. Great tackle. Storm 12 out in the left, trailing by 4. Grant passes to Udawikamanu, runs to the left there, bounces off a tackle, passes to Grant. Given to Wishart. Wishart into the end goal. And scores to level it up. What value this man. Tyrone Wishart back to the bench, back making an impact at the back end of games. 18 all kick to come from just to the left of the uprights.
Yeah, well, what about the carry there from Udawikamanu? A really nice strong carry, bumps off Curran and just throws the ball out the back. And the man that you want to pick the ball up with Harry Grant, he's there and he just skips across field and he's waiting for someone just to punch. And then Wishart does. He's used his speed and his strength. He's got great balance, Wishart.
Oh, has he grounded it properly?
Yeah, looked all right in this view. Give me this one here. Comes around. Try. TRY.
Brian Hoffman on the touchline.
That's what you get when Tyrone Wishart comes off the bench. That energy, that urgency around tired forwards with about 20 minutes to go. I'm going to be interested to see what Melbourne Storm actually do. Will they put Cameron Munster to fullback? Will they allow him to open up, put a strong defender like Wishart in the front line?
So Meany's off the field, which means Jonah Pezzett is going to be entrusted with this, it must be said, most simple of conversion attempts. But for a young man in his first final, he's only had the 1 kick previously this season. He kicked it successfully. But this for the lead for Melbourne. 18 all, 13 minutes left in this absorbing qualifying final on Friday night on ABC Sport, and Jonah Pezzett hush around the stadium. Right foot kicker. Looking to the southern end. Approaches. Strikes. Converts. And Melbourne return to the lead. Storm 20. Bulldogs 18. And we've got 13 minutes left in the game, Luke Lewis.
Yep, 13 minutes on the clock. Both sides will be a little bit nervous, but they'll both be fancy themselves to get this win. They're down by 2. It'll be interesting to see how the Bulldogs play now. They look really good when they're behind. When they've been in front, they've tightened up a little bit. So the next 12 and a half minutes will be very interesting here for the Bulldogs.
Around the grounds in the AFL, we're deep in the third quarter, and Hawthorn lead Adelaide. The Hawks 9-11, 65 to the Crows 5-7, 37. Loser out, winner to play a prelim against Geelong. Restart Udawikamanu, 15 into the field of play on the first carry. Now Howarth, 1 man to the left, gets to the 20. Jack Howarth on return from a groin injury tonight, his first game since round 22, and he stays down holding his neck as if there's been a crusher tackle. And the referee says if you can't play it, we'll give it to someone else to play it.
Adam G doesn't even want to look at it.
No, doesn't want any of that. So Howarth does play it. Now Liero into the defence, and Melbourne midway goal line and halfway as Liero centre field plays the ball there to Grant, given to King, and Josh King rolls down the middle third. Not a huge gain, about 17 inside his own half as he plays it there to Grant, give it to Munster who runs it at the line. Curran there to make the tackle, needs some help, gets it from Kickoff and also Max King. Storm through Munster, 2 metres inside their own half. Last play. Grant passes right to Pezzett. Kicks high and deep at the end of the set. Dogs fullback Tracy catches it a metre from his goal line. Bounces over the 10. Taken 15 from the goal line. Righto, Louis, a dozen minutes to go. Where to from here? Storm leading 20 to 18.
Well, it's important that the Bulldogs complete their set here. They can't come up with an error here. They've got to get the ball down the other end, and they've got to force an error through their defence if they want to get another opportunity.
Renakama, the young winger, to the 20. Tupanua gains 8 right side of the ruck. Just short of the 30. So Tilly Tupanua plays it to Hayward. Given on to Carraz. Right side of the ruck and 1 out. A dozen inside Dogs territory when taken. Hayward again at dummy half. Passes left in centre field from Salmon to Burton through the hands. Galvin towards the edge. Galvin is put down in the tackle of Pezzett and asked to play it. 45 from the Storm line last play. Burton from halfway, off a step, puts up a high bomb. It's shallow. It's caught by Munster. It does look like he's back at fullback, Hoffy. Munster taken on his own 20.
Yeah, look, for the Bulldogs, I think they really need to start testing Munster out with their high bombs. Let's get Burton putting up those skyscrapers for him. I like what Seraldo does, putting Tupanua on the last 10 minutes. Good things happen around him.
10 and a half minutes left in this qualifying final. Melbourne 20, Canterbury Bankstown 18 finals. Footy on ABC Sport as Ellie Katoa plays it. Storm 15 from halfway. A little bit of a fumble there from Josh King. He doesn't knock it on though. Taken 5 from halfway. Plays the ball. Munster runs at Salmon. Salmon's there along with Tupanua to make the toe. Munster's walking forward still though. Good run. Plays it only 40 out. Last play Storm. Grant passes right for Pezzett. A shallow kick at the end of the set. Renakama leaps and catches for the Dogs. Great diffusion from the teenage left winger. He's taken 22 metres out. Plays the ball there to Sexton. Passed infield to Burton and dummies and straightens, but Grant's there to make the tackle. These players are starting to look a little fatigued, and why not after 70 minutes of finals footy? 10 to go. Carraz with an offload to the right, given on to Preston. Looked right, no one was on his wing, so he had to take the tackle even though the offload was beckoning. Plays it to Tracy, given back to Preston, who's flat-footed. Just looking a little disorganised in this set, the Bulldogs. Preston taken out on the right, 8 metres from halfway. Plays the ball to Hayward. Now they're set. Pass to centre field for King. Puts it under his right wing. Rumbles up towards halfway. Ref G says 5. Last play for Canterbury. Goes to Sexton, who'll boot downfield high and deep. Munster and Warbrick. Munster says yours. Warbrick says okay. And he catches it out in that right side. Gets to the 20 on the kick return.
Well, Melbourne know how to play these types of games. Now, Warbrick's staying down. We're just getting the check here. Adam G stopped the... What did he say then? Something about his arm.
Will, can you play it?
Arm on
It's
knee.
incidental on the knee. Wait, Will, wait.
See, the one thing about this, it also allows Melbourne to get back on side from the kick. Have you noticed that, Louis?
No, I haven't.
The last couple of times they've stayed down, and it allows them to get the full complement of ball runners on side while staying down. Maybe we're looking too much into that. Howard plays at 12 from halfway. Uduikamanu receives left side of the ruck. Pops it up for Wishart. 8.5 to go. Wishart, the last try scorer in the game. He's going to be tackled 5 inside Melbourne territory. Last play called by the referee. Grant passes to Pezzett. It's a deep right-footed kick. Downfield to Tracy. Watches it into his chest. Catches it 5 from the goal line. And the Dogs fullback runs up at the line now with Veers to his left, but can't beat the kick chase. Tackle 15 from the goal line. What do you reckon, Hoffy? 8 minutes to go as the Dogs try and punch it upfield.
Yeah, the Bulldogs got to start coming up with something here. It's going to have to come from their left edge with a kick out and Burton. With their right edge with Preston going to centres, there isn't a lot of strike power there, so they need to start coming to their left.
Premiership winners and internationals, Ryan Hoffman and Luke Lewis, your experts on Quentin Hull. It's Friday night footy, finals footy on ABC Sport, and it's Melbourne leading Canterbury 20 points to 18, 8 minutes to go. Hayes on the right side run, taken a dozen from halfway for Canterbury. Now Salmon to the left through the hands. Sexton on to Kickoff. Kickoff is taken down. Good tackle by Pezzett. Quick play the ball last play. Galvin passes blindside left. Burton puts up a high deep kick. Munster's job to catch it. Munster fulfills the task. 12 from his own line. He sees the defence on the 20 and takes contact. Walks a couple of metres forward and he'll get up and play the ball 25 from his own line. Plays the ball to Graham. Given on to Warbrick. Centre third Warbrick. Couple of post-mod contact moves. Good run. He's on the 40. Melbourne leading by 2. They score next. It might be enough to get another preliminary final for them. Munster to halfway. He'll play the ball here to Grant. Passes right for Katoa. 1 out run. 7 or 8 metres upfield. Gets into Dogs territory. 42 metres from Canterbury's line. 7 minutes to go. Melbourne lead 20-18 to the left. Through the hands of Pezzett to Wishart. Feeds Howarth on the inside line. His tackle got an offload. Pezzett pops it up to King. King down the middle. Stop 35 metres out. Last play for the Storm. Pass left for Pezzett. Is it time for Air Coates? He puts it to Coates' wing. It's caught out there by Carrazza the Dogs. He plays on with an offload there to Tracy. Tracy runs it up almost to the 30. Great diffusion from Canterbury, and Tracy gets to the 30. Now the shift. Sexton to the edge for kick out. He steps through the tackle of Pezzett, but the ankle captain has jumped on by Anderson. And Canterbury on the left, 15 from halfway. Just over 6 minutes left. Rinakama with an offload to Sexton. Passes centre field for Galvin. Give it to Banua. Runs into the tackle of, well, Wishart was there. First contact was made from Howarth. Dogs are on halfway. Played to Hayward. Given to Salmon. They run into attacking territory through the hands to the left. Kick out of Galvin. On to Burton. Tries to fend away from Anderson, but Pezzett makes the tackle. Ball played. Galvin runs out a dummy half. Runs at the line. Given to Salmon. Passes across the 40. From Tracy to the right edge for Preston. Beats Howarth. Passes to Carraz. Over the 30. Beats one up to the 20. Passes infield to Tracy. To Salmon. Big pass to the centre of the field for Mann. There's still 25 out. Grubber for the in-goal area. Warbrick diffuses on the goal line. Warbrick beats the tackle of Mann. And Warbrick still running up to the 20 before being stopped.
That's a good play there by Warbrick. I tell you what, gets back there. I'm not too sure about the kick there from the Bulldogs. They should have just kept the ball going. They had the Melbourne Storm shot. But this is end-to-end stuff at the moment.
It's heavyweight last round stuff. We are looking for the knockout punch here. Both teams, a bit of a bubble there on the carry on the right side from Anderson, but he didn't knock it on. Storm 15 from halfway. McDonald on the next run. Gains 10. Plays at 5 inside Storm territory. Given to Munster. Munster down the middle third. He hurts his ankle and goes to deck, and he clutches at his left ankle at the end of what looked like a regulation tackle. But he's wrong. I think his foot's at the wrong angle. This looks like a horrible injury for Cam Munster. And rightly, the stadium goes silent.
You sure it's in the right angle?
Left ankle. Did I say right?
No, I thought you said the foot is at a different angle, but I'm thinking...
Well, for a moment I thought it was.
Big blow up here. It might be... definitely right.
Hoffy, what are you seeing on the touchline?
Yeah, it looks similar to the Stephen Crichton one, to be quite honest. He just gets his ankle caught under Jamin Salmon. It's just one of those rugby league accidents. Got a question for you, boys. If you're the Melbourne Storm, do you go for a field goal? Take away the 2-point field goal opportunity for the Bulldogs?
Well, with Matty Burton in the side, he can't kick it from anywhere, Hoffy, so... Depending on how long to go on the clock.
Munster's trying to walk this out, by the way. Oh, for a moment I thought that that angle didn't look good. Sorry,
I think
Storm
his boot
fans.
actually come off a bit.
Okay, thank you, Lou.
His boot come off a bit.
So that's why we sort of saw that. Okay, end of the set. Pezzett from 40 out with a shallow bomb. Rinakama, the young man. Oh, he's done it well again, young Jethro. Takes the catch. He's been under pressure. First final fifth game, he's done his bit. Tackled 30 metres out. Out of dummy half goes Sexton. No great game. Plays the ball 15 from halfway. 4.5 minutes to go. Melbourne lead Canterbury Bankstown by 2 points. Winner to the prelim. Loser to play the Warriors or Penrith next week. Man over halfway. Right side shift. Galvin gives it on to Tracy up to the 40. Passes to Preston. Preston's over the 30 and 25 metres out when tackled out on the right edge. Tracy's in a dummy half for the Dogs. Passes infield to Hayward. Given to Galvin at the line. Passes to Mann. Mann gets under the tackle of King. Goes back to the right with the pass for Tupanua, who's on the 30. Straightens. Gets up to the 20 before being taken by Wishart and Lasardi. Out on the right. Last play, Dogs. 20 from the Storm line. Through the hands to the left. And centre field. Man to Sexton to kick out. He runs it. He's tackled. Off the mixed stick pass. Stolen by Warbrick, who's got 80 to run. Will Warbrick is streaking downfield. And this will send the purple to another preliminary final.
try something, the Bulldogs. They had to get the ball over to that edge, and they just throw the ball up in the air. The man on the spike, Will Warbrick, who loves scoring a try, he's got some speed. And the only two blokes who don't really want to fall in their hand to is either Coates or Warbrick. And they look upfield and they got 90 to run. And it's see you later. He switched off for about 25 to go. But he's breathing in the big ones now, and you're right, that's game, and that is over. And the Melbourne Storm, they will get a week off.
Ryan Hoffman, it was down your touchline. The Dogs rolled the dice, and it ended up in the wrong hands. The Sevens medalist from Tokyo, a man who's had to question his footballing mortality this year, Will Warbrick, what a moment for him.
That's a huge play by Will Warbrick. It was a speculator pass on the fifth tackle by Xiaomi Mi. He did the right thing. He followed his centre in, got in between the player, and for a bloke that has only played 3 games since round 5, he showed an amazing tank to get there, run 90 metres. That's the week off for the Melbourne Storm.
Will Warbrick, 5th game of the year, 3rd try, and all of those issues that he had following head knocks earlier in the season. Story during the week speaking about where he had those moments where you wonder whether or not you can get back out there. What a moment for him. And this crowd of 22,000, the majority of them at least, up and cheering. The purple in a preliminary yet again. It just keeps on happening. As Jonah Pezzett, though, has to try and convert. It's an important kick. The margin is 6. There's 2 minutes left, but it's right in front. Needs to be kicked. Pezzett approaches and converts. Melbourne 26, Canterbury Bankstown 18. A minute and 56 seconds left in the game. Oh, this will take some sifting through. Get your texts ready. 0467920222. All of the interviews to come. Thoughts from Ryan Hoffman and Luke Lewis, but we'd love to hear from you. 0467920222. 26 to 18 for the Melbourne Storm. Restart is, a shortish midfield floater, which Wishart catches. And he's got it for the Storm. Well, Louis, wasn't much in the... We had to wait till the last 2 or 3 minutes for breaking point. Certainly the Dogs have shown some of their better football tonight, but it's the Storm who get the week off and will host a preliminary final as King rolls down the middle 30s, taken on the 30. Play to Grant, pass to McDonald, and McDonald's taken down. And if you weren't with us earlier tonight, Frank Panisi joining Ian Cohen to tell us that there's a chance that Jerome Hughes might be fit for a prelim final. That'll be a story which will develop in the next fortnight. Pezzett with the kick at the end of the set. High, deep downfield. Tracy's there, catches it for the Dogs, 5 from their own line. He's got it. They've got 65 seconds for a miracle, and I don't think even a miracle is an available option here for the Dogs. They've just got to lick their wounds, get back to Sydney, and prepare for a game against the Warriors of the Panthers. Tracy's got it right edge. Still only 5 from his line. Pops up the pass to Tupanua, and he's going to be put down. What a September machine this Storm team is. What a club they are. Dogs on the right side shift. Carraz has to stop and come in field. Passes to Hayward. They're still on their own 20. Gives it on to Mann. Kurt Mann dancing around, and he gets taken. Still on the 20. Tries to play the football. Grant's mucking around in the ruck, and well played by Mann to draw a penalty with Grant lying in the wrong spot. Downfield with a go over the touchline. Munster tries to keep it in, but he can't. And the seconds will count down. The Dogs are still on that decade-long wait for a win in the finals. Melbourne go to the second last weekend.
There's still 6 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, they took time off. Still counting down, but no, the fans are like, hold on, the refs called time off. So the Dogs will play it 32 metres out. One last Hail Mary play. It's a bomb from Burton, and Coates is going to catch it on his goal line. The Storm through to yet another preliminary final. Melbourne win 26-18. They will host the grand final qualifier in a fortnight. The Bulldogs will play at home next week in a cutthroat game against the Warriors or the Panthers. That's 80 minutes of terrific finals football to set September away. Storm led 14-12 at halftime and win 26-18 in the end. 4 tries to 3. Katoa, Lasati, Wishart and Warbrick, the try scorers. Mini kicked 3 from 3 before he was ordered from the field. Pezzett kicking 2 from 2, so waiting for a head injury assessment. Word on Meany, but Champ was out with an HIA for the Dogs. Leg injuries to both Crichton and Tuwala. Bulldog scorers Sexton, Carraz and Burton. Burton kicking 3 from 3. We'll stay close to Koza and Hoppy on the touchline, but Louis, 26-18 to the Storm. Another preliminary final for Melbourne.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? The Melbourne Storm, they just keep doing it year after year. They finished second this year, which is a great job. They've had a few injuries. They got the job done tonight. They weren't at their best, but they got the job done. It was a really good game of footy. The first 20 minutes was a little bit how you going, but both sides found their feet from there. It was a really fast, high-quality game. Bulldogs just kept taking it. I thought the Bulldogs were sneakily going to get away with it, but just the Melbourne Storm too good with that Tyrone Wishart try. Just gets them in front by 2 points, and Billy Army, he's going to feel sorry for himself, but he sort of had to try something. But that over-the-top pass just wasn't the play, and they end up hitting Will Warbrick on the chest. He runs 90 metres to score a great try. But well done to the Melbourne Storm. Another prelim final. Good thing is they get a week off and they get a lot of opportunity to get some players back. We've seen Ryan Pappenhausen sitting in front of us. We've got Jerome Hughes maybe making a comeback. So really good things here for the Melbourne Storm.
Players just milling around and congratulating each other. Jane and Marimbula, thank you for your text. Enjoyed listening to Louis' insights during the game. Excellent footy knowledge, really adds to the enjoyment of the game. Thank you, Jane. 0467 920 222. Thanks to Muzza from Geelong, one of our blind listeners. Makes us feel like we're at the game. Good on you, Muzza. Always nice to hear from you. 0467 920 222. Get in touch with your thoughts. Talk about the hip drop tackle from Matt Burton, which is an interesting one. He wasn't put on report. Mike in Canberra texts another hip drop. The one Munster isn't penalised. I can't believe the inconsistency never called out by the anti-Manly crew. This is Mike in Canberra. And we were making a note about Storm staying down at the back end of the game, allowing men back on side. Ray from Ipswich is with me. He goes, Q, you're spot on about the suspect Storm injuries on the first tackle on kick returns. Smart gamesmanship by the Storm. Thanks for your thoughts. 26 points to 18. And Stephen Crichton's out there in a moon boot and in crutches, wandering around. Gee, look, a week's a long time in footy, but that doesn't look like someone who's going to be able to front up for a cutthroat final next week.
Sometimes they put him in a boot too, just because it does help with the recovery time as well. So, look, I'm not going to rule him out just yet. Because the only reason I'm going to say I'm not going to rule him out is because he did stay on for 4 or 5 more minutes after it. And I do believe they've got him in that boot just to help with the recovery before they get scans tomorrow.
So, Ian Cohen's on the job down at ground level. Just allowing the players a moment or two to exchange pleasantries. And now he's going to have a chat with Bailey Hayward from the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely, Q. Obviously we're watching Stephen Crichton walk along and shake hands with all the boys. He wanted to get around them, but that's certainly been a big story out of tonight, hasn't it, Bailey, with your skipper going down?
Yeah, of course. When you have not only a world-class player, but your skipper go down, it hurts. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. I'm not too sure what it is, but I think the boys should come in. Done a great job, Toby, coming on and having to move positions. I think we handled that pretty well, but didn't get the result at the end.
Talk to us about those last couple of minutes in particular, where it was a real arm wrestle. Take us through that.
Yeah, obviously it's tough when the ball's in play a lot and there's not a lot of set starts and not a lot of penalties, which is finals footy. That grind there, it was tough, but like I said, they ended up getting the result at the end. I think there was definitely some chances that we had that we probably didn't execute as well, but we'll look back at that and hopefully learn from that for next week.
You're still chasing history, obviously, for your first finals win, but what do you take out of tonight?
I think we've proved the belief to ourselves and everyone that we're here to play. There's a team here. We all know it internally, and like I said, if we can fix a couple things up right, execution-wise, I think we'll be all right.
How's the feeling though right now after going so close?
Yeah, definitely it hurts. It's tough. Like I said, you're in the balance of the game and probably there for the winning, and we didn't take it. But yeah, it hurts. We'll definitely remember these feelings because you don't want to be feeling like this again. So take that into next week and use it as fuel. Appreciate it, Bailey. Pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bailey Hayward and a handshake as well. Good work, Kozo. Ian Cohen down there on the touchline. Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman will chat through it with you as well. Quentin Hull up in the box, and 26-18 that final score line. So it's among the raft of stats which we could throw at you about Melbourne's consistency. I think the one is at the top of the list. 11 seasons, 10 preliminary finals. In the last 11 seasons, Melbourne have been to the last 4 in all bar 1. 4 tries to 3. And it was a good watch. The game of footy, I mean, you're right, Louis, it started a bit slow, but we got pace, we got attrition, we got drama. Finals footy, Hoffy, welcome back to the box.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was pure finals footy. It really was. It was like the Melbourne Storm are going to need the week off, I tell you, because that was a tough ask. There are going to be some sore and battered bodies. And look, it's going to be a big ask for the Bulldogs next week to have to back up again.
Back down to Ian Cohen.
Yeah, one of the try scorers tonight, Tyron Wishart. You had to wait for your moment though, didn't you? You were happy to walk along. There's obviously a lap of honour at the moment.
Yeah, I was getting itchy feet, especially that first half. Obviously want to go on as soon as you can, but the boys were digging deep that first half and doing all the hard work, and was able to get on the second half and a little gap open up, which was good. But yeah, I mean our middles were exceptional tonight. They really laid the platform and were able to play some footy off the back of it. But I thought we really handled the arm wrestles good.
There's a few positional changes obviously coming in as well. Some of those forced. Where do you find your role? And then it got shuffled around again, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's sort of my role here, and I'm used to it now. So I'm used to, expecting the unexpected, and it happens quite more than you think. So we'll see how we go at training this week, how the boys pull up, and hopefully we get a pretty strong, full-strength team.
Nick Meaney going off obviously did change around. That looked like Cam Munster had a really nasty injury, but he seems to be okay now.
Yeah, I mean, he's as tough as they get. So you never know with him. It could be bad, could be, hopefully it's not. We'll wait and see. That's what we got the doctors for.
It was a real arm wrestle though. Canterbury came to play.
Yeah, it was, and that's finals footy, isn't it? So we were sort of expecting it. We trained for it, and looked like they did too because they came for the battle, and it was definitely a tough one.
What about your try? Take us through that.
Yeah, I didn't have to do much, mate. It's a good offload from Steph, I think it was, and Harry got the ball and opened up a bit of space, and I just had to put it down.
Right spot, right time.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Tyron.
Thanks, guys.
Ian Cohen down, walking the lap with the Melbourne Storm players. We'll stay close, Koza. If you can get any more reaction from ground level, and your thoughts, welcome to 0467 920 222. And already Nick's on the text asking, are the Bulldogs a better team without Reid Marnie in it?
Well, it's hard to judge them on this sort of performance of where the players are had in and out, just due to how many players went down. But one thing's for certain, they definitely need Toby Sexton in the team.
He was exceptional. First game since round 19, Louis. It makes you wonder. Well, we've heard the conversation from Doggies fans, haven't we?
He had one error though. He had one error where he kicked it out in the full, and Melbourne scored off the back of it. It just shows you in finals games are all about moments, and unfortunately for Toby, who I thought had a great game, that was one moment.
The other thing is too, on my theory on that, yeah, he kicked the ball and they did score off it, and you can't do that, but
you got to defend it.
Yeah, correct. You got to defend it. But the other thing is too, because he hasn't been playing there, and you're throwing him in now. You haven't given him any time over the last few weeks. Like he's come out and had a really good game of football, except for that one kick. But they look a lot more relaxed with Toby Sexton in the side. They just seemed to flow. Everyone knew what their role was. Often they were punching beautiful holes. So Tilly Tupanua looked beautiful.
He's dangerous.
Running off. He was outstanding. So I don't know how they're going to play next week, but it's going to be interesting to see how they line up. A lot of injuries as well.
Well, speaking of Toby Sexton, let's get down to Ian Cohen.
Yeah, Toby's still with us. He's signing for all the fans that are here, and there's plenty of blue and white, no doubt about that. And obviously those fans will go home a little bit disappointed tonight, but take us through it from your point of view, Toby.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. We lost at the end of the day, and in finals time it's just win or lose, so pretty tough one to swallow. But yeah, lots of it went against us tonight. Like Critter going down and kicks obviously, and then Nari went down, a lot of adversity, but gave ourselves chances to win, and yeah, just couldn't quite do it.
What was the mindset with Stephen obviously going down, having to reshuffle as well?
It was all right. I think we trained for a little bit, and obviously Burton can cover the outside backs, and then coming in the halves, and we felt pretty good and got our game on pretty well. But yeah, again, just tough one to swallow.
Your game was terrific. You must take some great pride in that, and obviously look forward to next week.
Oh yeah, a little bit, but crucial moment, kicked it out in the full, and gave a bit of field position, so I'm going to be better like that in big moments. But yeah, it was nice to play a bit of footy again.
And how hard, obviously, to reload and go again next week, obviously, after coming so close tonight.
Yeah, it's just finals, I guess. When you don't win them games, you got to back up next week and put in a good performance. So yeah, it'll just be about that.
Appreciate it, Toby.
Thanks, mate.
Get on your way in. And Cohen down there, and Toby Sexton, as mentioned, first game since round 19, but certainly made an impact, and the Storm players just finishing up a lap, so we'll probably be able to get a bit more reaction. Can you believe that Melbourne is now 28 wins from 28 finals games under Craig Bellamy when they're in front at half-time? You would have played a few of those, Hoffy?
Yeah, I played a few of those.
Amazing stat. 28 from 28 when in front at half-time in finals.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous. And well, it just shows that their dominance on, there were opportunities tonight where the Bulldogs could have pulled it out, but Melbourne Storm just stuck with it longer.
Yeah. Now, Ian's on the hunt. I think Harry Grant's wrestling with the ball kid down there. I don't know what's going on there. He must know that young fella.
That's Charlie Hinchcliffe.
Oh, right.
That's Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Young Ryan's boy. More Riverina stock there.
Yeah, oh yeah, very Tamora boy. Half the NRL's from Tamora, aren't they?
Let's hear from Harry Grant.
Yeah, he's actually having fun with the kids at the moment, I think, Harry Grant. He's getting high fives and he's tackling Hitchy's young man down to the ground as well. Take us through that from your point of view, Skipper.
I think it was, we set out to give ourselves an opportunity to play in the prelim, and that's what we got. It wasn't perfect. Finals games are never going to be perfect, and a few changes within the team. Probably could have been better at stages. But we fought and we found a way, and I thought they were really good. Both teams had to be flexible, had to be gritty, and that's probably a look into what it's going to be like over the next few weeks.
What do you think Storm needs to improve? What needs to get better in the approach? Obviously, you got the week off, but what needs to improve?
I think probably just staying in our game consistently for 80 minutes. We probably dipped in and out of, our performance. And, I think at the end of the day, the opposition are going to stand up as well. You got to give them credit, and sometimes you just got to be a bit gritty. But, I think there's plenty to work on. We'll get back to work this week and have a long preparation into a prelim.
Jonah Pezzett obviously into the lineup and into the starting lineup as well. Tyron had to wait his time. How did you see that unfold?
No, I thought it was really good, and I think he controlled the game well, and we probably could have helped. As a team, probably could have helped out a little bit more, and we got off to a really good start, and then sort of went into our shell and didn't play the way we would have liked. Missed some opportunities, but I think we can review it and go again.
Okay, so overall the win though, that's the key, because you've come in on the back of a couple of losses. So how much more buoyant does this make you heading towards a prelim?
Yeah, well, the last couple of weeks, subconsciously, there probably wasn't a whole heap to play for, given our ladder position, and we knew there was a lot to play for tonight. And the most pleasing thing was we went after it, and now we've got a really good opportunity. 2 weeks into a prelim, back here at Amy Park. We love playing here, and we love the support we get here. And fingers crossed, if your AFL team's out of the finals, you can jump on the Melbourne Storm and support us over the next 2 week journey, and hopefully there's a little bit more to go with that.
And there is a little tease potentially that Jerome Hughes might be a possibility. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think it's a big bonus if we get him back, and but there's a lot of hypotheticals that you go through with in a rugby league week. So yeah, I think it's a bonus if we do, but we've got to prepare as we're not. But I think the medical staff will do all they can to get all our troops back on board.
Appreciate your time, Harry.
Thank you.
Great job, Ian Cohen down with Harry Grant. It's finals footy on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis and Ryan Hoffman with you. The Storm defeating the Bulldogs 26 points to 18. Keep your messages coming on 0467 920 222. Thank you to Paul, who was listening in from Sapporo in Japan. Thanks for your message, Paul. And Carlos from the South Coast. Yeah, we'll get Louis' points. He asked Louis, who would you have given 2 points to if this was still the regular season?
I'm going to be really honest. I haven't even thought about it because I was so into the game. But who played well? I thought Satili Tupanua went well for the Bulldogs. I thought who was good for Melbourne? There's a couple of really good performers for Melbourne. I thought Eliesa Katoa went well as well.
Can I point out a bloke?
Yeah, of course.
So Stefano Tuikamata came to the Melbourne Storm to play finals football. This is his first finals game. 55 minutes, 17 carries, 157 metres, 13 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, 1 which led to a try, 34 tackles and no misses. That is a hell of a stat line for your first finals game. 13 tackle breaks.
And also coming into a team with, that's Nelson's season done now, by the way, with Melbourne winning tonight. There's no way that he can play for the rest of the year because the Storm have only got potentially 2 games left. And
would he be in though?
Well,
that's the thing.
I think it's probably the question better answered by you.
Well, look, Nelson at his best. There's no one better, but. In saying that, they do, but what they were missing last year in the grand final was someone to knock the door down. And they have that with big Stefano. He will knock the door down with his carries.
Back to Koza.
Well, we've got another one of the try scorers. The man that went, was it 93, 94 metres? How far was it in the end that you actually ran after that intercept with Warbrick?
I don't know. It took a while. It was long, I think, but I'm just grateful to get across. I was cramping before then, so legs hung in there.
They certainly did. Talk to us about the cramping, because you've only been back a couple of games. How is the body going?
It's doing all right, I'll be honest, it's still kind of finding my feet a bit. I'm not really where I'd like to be, but I'm out on the field, and that's why I'm grateful for to be back on the field. And it's not the ideal situation to be playing finals after almost 5 months off, so we're just finding a way to get through and just perform.
The good thing is you are doing it though. How's the headspace as well? Who have you been working with to get you back on and make sure that you're right to go?
So many people, mate. There's so many people that's contributed and getting me out here to play, but also helping me remain on the field. So that goes to all the staff here at the club, from the coaches to the medical team, performance. And I've been working on some sport psychs and sort of the mental well-being space, because that definitely took a toll in my time off. And I think I've got a lot of resources that I've been trying to use to help me be better and just remain on the field.
But you think it's doing something for you now? It's getting you there? You're starting to become the person that you want to be leading into this preliminary final now?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to do everything I can and do all the little things, the 1%ers that will help make an impact in a positive way, whether that's with training, footy, or even sort of looking after my well-being away from the field. So I'm trying to do the best I can, man, and also just trying to keep the body healthy. Games like tonight, it takes a toll on the body, that's for sure.
It was really fatiguing out there, wasn't it? And they certainly kicked to you plenty as well. You had lots of time looking up into the lights.
I had to come across Burton, who's probably got the biggest boot in the game, and he just kept putting it behind me. But look, we found the way. I expected it. Him being a left footer, and he's one of the elite kickers in the game, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a little game plan to turn me around and make me work hard for my corner. But I'm proud to get through that game and get the result.
Well, talk to us about what that result means. A couple of losses on the way in. Storm seem to have now steadied the ship a little bit and back into a prelim.
We've been pretty disappointed with our past couple performances leading into tonight's game. Tonight it wasn't pretty, but I think the main thing was we showed a bit of grit, we showed a bit of fight, and I think that was the key, was to just show a bit of fight and a bit of effort, and I'm pretty sure the boys did that. Got to give credit to the Bulldogs. I think they brought that out of us, and we needed to match that. You know, we know what kind of team they are this season, and they're tough, and we wanted to show that we're tough as well. So,
with you on one wing, Xavier on the other, we know there's always going to be plenty of highlights, but when did you know that you weren't going to get tackled? The last 30 metres you had a smile on your face before you put the ball down.
Yeah, well, I think once I got going, I just kept looking at the screen here because I don't know if someone was catching me or what, but I think the crowd really brought me home. I felt the cheers, the support. It was so loud, and I was just glad to get across there. It was a great moment and something I'll cherish.
Great to see you back playing good football. Well done.
Thank you, mate.
Great chats. And Will Warbrick, what a story. I mean, outside of what he's gone through this year, junior age, AFL rep in New Zealand, who went on to be a Rugby Sevens Olympic medalist, and now here playing for the Storm off the back of a season where concussion battles really got to him, both physically and mentally. So good on him for getting back to some of his best footy.
Yeah, and he has worked on it. He has had some problems with things in the past in the wellbeing space. So it's a real credit to him to go through such a troubling time all year and come off the back of it. And it's real just rewards for him, getting himself back in the team. One win away from grand final.
Even just being able to talk about it. Yeah, even down there, not too many people would share that. So it's good to see that he shares it and people know what he's going through. But it's not an easy thing to do, to turn it all around, play a couple of games, come out and play in a game like that, where the speed of that game was absolutely ferocious. And he had a couple of errors too early in the game, and he had to just quickly clear his head. So clearing those little mistakes come out of his own end, come up with some really nice defence, and then finish that try to really seal the game. It's a big effort.
A lot of maturity from him, isn't it?
Yeah, 26-18, the final scoreline, 4 tries to 3. Storm led 14-12 at half-time. Dogs got to the lead 9 minutes into the second half with a try to Burton, but Tyron Wishart with a try about 15 minutes to go, and then 2 points the difference until that the Dogs pushing the envelope at the attacking end, and a loose offload caught by Warbrick, and it was, I think I called it 80 metres. I reckon it was about that.
I think it was about 90.
Yeah, I reckon you dudded him 10 minutes.
Oh, I dudded him?
You've dudded him.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was a decent run.
It was a long run, yes.
Downfield, and Jonah Pezzett kicking the conversion. Around the grounds, there's only 6 minutes left in that AFL final at the Adelaide Oval, and 6 minutes left in the Crows season. Hawthorn are going to win that game, and will play Geelong in a preliminary final. So the Crows, I think the first minor premier to go out in straight sets for a while.
That's a hiding too.
And they've been flogged. Hawthorn 14-17, 101. Adelaide 8-7, 55. So just reminding you, the Crows were the minor premier, and they're bang out. Hawthorn's going to play Geelong next week. Of course, it's Brisbane and Gold Coast tomorrow for the right to play Collingwood in that other prelim. Jeff in Sunshine Texas, Storm don't need Nelson. Have enough in the forwards. What the Storm need are centres. Well,
no, I think the centres went all right.
How good was Jack Ellis' defence?
Yeah, and Jack Ellis runs. He did some really strong carries.
But it's the carry after his run, because he gets a quick play. But defensively, I reckon is really underrated. Like some of his ball and all tackles, he hits them, and he hits them hard. The benefit with Melbourne with their centres is that they still have Marion Sebe. So Marion Sebe didn't make the 17, and he's an NRL quality player if Grant Anderson is no good.
And the game wasn't really 4 centres tonight.
Nah.
It was right through the middle. They were bashing each other through the middle.
I'm going to throw up a question which you wouldn't have even thought of asking 12 months ago. You probably...
I think I know what you're going to say.
Does Ryan Pappenhausen get a game? Was that what I was? That, yeah. Does Ryan Pappenhausen get a game?
Nick Meaney wasn't bad. Nick Meaney is a very, very competent fullback.
And I'm going to jump in and say you guys are crazy. Yes, 100% he gets a game.
Well, I say that in the context of if Jerome Hughes comes in and what that does for, that...
They will put Pappenhausen back there straight away. Guaranteed.
Can I say something about Ryan Pappenhausen, though, a bloke who has had a lot of injuries? It does sometimes take him a couple of games to get back in the swing of it. But I think you're right, Louis. They will put him straight back in. But Nick Meaney's a good replacement.
The thing is, more than the question, I think the fact that it's now. Well, Louis shot me down, but the fact that it's a legitimate question makes us realise that this isn't the guy that won the Churchill medal, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, but it's not his fault. Unfortunately for him, it's his body that breaks it. It's a bit like Tom Trbojevic. You just can't trust his body, unfortunately, because of some of the injuries, and they're just unlucky injuries.
One thing I do know about Ryan Pappenhausen, I don't know him personally, but from outside looking in, he knows how to play in big games, and he knows how to pull things off. And sometimes it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you get to a prelim final and everyone else around him is playing well, he will just pull something out of the hat, and you'll go, there's Ryan Pappenhausen. He's just one of those dudes. I don't know what it is. Not everyone's got it, but he's got it.
There's some huge decisions Craig is going to have to make for the prelim around the team.
And let's look at the Bulldogs. Well, we wonder whether Marcelo Montoya is going to be right, and that back five might need some reinforcement. And Bronson Sherry as well. So at least they've got two guys hoping that Sherry gets over his concussion to come back in, and Montoya's ankle injury. But there looks like there's potentially two holes in the back five there with Crichton and Tuala injured.
With Bronson Sherry, you don't realise how much they missed him tonight. Yeah. The amount of work he does out of the backfield is phenomenal. When they get the ball out wide, they actually, as soon as they know Bronson's there, they actually shift the ball to him a lot earlier. They give him early ball. He's very, very good. And when he's up close to the line, he punches into some really nice holes as well. So he does so many little things. His kick chase is phenomenal. His marker tackles are phenomenal. So he's going to be a massive inclusion for him. But they will lose Stephen Crichton.
Yeah. So the thing with them too is that they're lucky they played on a Friday night, because there are some battered bodies there. I mean, Jacob Krause, his first game back, he was a bit ginger coming up and he did a lot of work. He was an absolute stalwart for the back five for the Bulldogs. Took a lot of carries, really strong carries too. Some really good defence. He's going to be a bit battered and bruised, and it's going to be a big week of recovery, I think, for the Dogs to get themselves right for next week's game.
And look, it probably make perilous calls when you're trying to guess what the NRL are going to do with the draw, but you'd think that game would be Saturday night, because obviously the loser of Canberra and Brisbane has to go around again, and they wouldn't give them a 6-day turnaround.
They don't play Friday night.
No, so it'd be Saturday night. I'd think Canterbury at home against either the Warriors or the Panthers.
So, and then a Sunday game.
And then the Sunday game would be the loser of...
Do they
were right too, by the way.
What's that?
Oh, no, it was a little bit more. You said...
I said 4
Melbourne
points.
by 4.
I said by 4, yeah. Was it by 8?
It was by
what
8.
did you say at the start?
I said 8.
No, you didn't.
Louis, does this result shed any more light on the Sharks win last week from Pete in Newey?
No, I just thought the Sharks were really good last week, and I feel like the Bulldogs were probably a little bit off in just knowing that they had that position sealed up and they knew where they were playing it last week. So I don't take a whole lot out of it. I thought the Sharks did play really, really well. But for me, I want to see them play like that again tomorrow night. That would be the real answer for me.
Yeah, they need to show consistency.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And look, we always do this in finals. It's a little bit, it's good fodder anyway, and I'll go with it because it's worth thought. From Grimesy, Q and Luke, assuming the Panthers win tomorrow, do you feel the Dogs will go out in straight sets against the Panthers? I'd love your thoughts from Grimesy. Now,
Grimesy, are you a Bulldogs fan? I'm not too sure. And I don't want to say it because I love the Bulldogs fans and what they've done for them this year, but I do. I feel like they do go out in straight sets.
I'm going to find it's hard for them to recover after that. Like it's going to be a big emotional drain, a big physical drain, and depending on look, we don't know how the game's going to go tomorrow. And don't forget, if the Panthers win, they then got to fly back from New Zealand. 7-day turnaround. The Dogs are going to have 8. So look, there's many factors.
If the Warriors upset them, I'm going to say Bulldogs win. There you go.
There you go.
I can't see them getting beat tomorrow.
Well, I think it was always going to be why this game had such high stakes, because there was going to be one team which would continue a run of outs with the potential of playing the team that's won the last 4 competitions. And it was just a matter of, okay, well, who was going to get that card? And the card falls to the Dogs now. I mean, the narrative was there. And we're not trying to be disrespectful at all to the Warriors, but their form has not been great in the lead into the finals, and even though they're playing at home, they're playing the team that has played in 5 grand finals in a row and has won the last 4 competitions.
Yep.
And they've got most of their troops back. So
they got their whole team.
Yeah.
They got their whole
except
team
for Mitch Kenny.
Except for Mitch Kenny, of course. Yeah,
but they know how to play finals games, and don't underestimate how important that is to know how to handle finals games. Big question: Storm prelim. If they play it on the Saturday, that's the same day as the grand final. That's the AFL grand final.
Sorry. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they'll look to roll it straight after, or
probably Saturday night, and then I think they'll probably have to play a Sunday preliminary final this year because of.
You wouldn't be running into the AFL grand final.
Would they play? Would they play the prelim on the Friday, or are they not?
Well,
you know what I mean. Like,
I'm trying to just do the. No, they wouldn't ask because the team that wins on the Sunday of next week then plays Melbourne, so they won't go from Sunday to Friday.
They'll have to do Saturday.
Yeah, so I think it's Saturday night and Sunday afternoon locked in now.
Yeah, so was that 2-3 o'clock kickoff?
So the winner of Brisbane and Canberra plays at home on the Sunday, a week before the grand final, and obviously we've got Melbourne locked in on the previous Saturday, which would be in the evening after the grand final across the footbridge.
You wouldn't want to have that 7-day turnaround, because what if you get like a HIA or something like that?
All of these things.
But they're all the factors that come into it. Like,
wouldn't you be filthy if you played all year? You get a simple little HIA,
and because you've got a 7-day,
and now you got a 7-day turnaround, you're going to miss out on a grand final.
Yep, but that's
outrageous.
And it's the way that.
So why wouldn't they go Friday and Saturday in? But I suppose it's the same.
That's why
with the team playing the week before.
That's why I was going to say the AFL system would work really well now with these HIAs. If you get a HIA, say in the prelim, and you get that 1 week rest to get your body right going into the grand final.
There's no week off between the prelim and grand final
in the AFL.
Yeah.
No, they had the week off between the last round and the first week of the final. You're thinking of the Super Bowl.
Maybe it's the Super Bowl. No, that's
in the Super Bowl, they have the week off between the championship games.
I think it might have been the Super Bowl too, actually.
Yeah. That's okay, Louis.
Well, it's only 20 past 10. We've been on for a while.
Yeah.
We've got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, get everyone excited.
You've got 5 minutes or so to wrap it up. 0467920222 if you've got a thought. 26 points to 18. Melbourne over Canterbury Bankstown. If you are just finishing work or tuning in and not aware of the story, Stephen Crichton in a moon boot, left leg injury, crutches. We wait to see. Like, those things can be just precautionary, and then who knows? But that's what he looked like, and I think it's a calf injury for Tawala.
Yeah, it was a definite calf strain. Yeah. It wasn't the Achilles. But he shot like he hurt the Achilles.
HIA for Joe Chan, and what was the Nick Meaney one in the end? He went off.
HIA for chasing.
Yeah, and was that at the end of the game?
15 minutes and 37 seconds left.
Right. Okay. So that's why we didn't see him.
That's why I didn't see him. He passed his test.
He passed his test.
It was a Cat 2 and passed his test.
Yeah, and as expected, we're getting a few of these texts. Luca, who's a regular fan, g'day Luke, he says, the Dogs were literally top of the comp, changed the whole team because of Gus Gould's teenage dream. They deserve to go out in straight sets.
Unfortunately, that question's not going to go away, is it?
It's valid.
Not after when Toby Sexton comes on and plays the way he did, too.
That question is not going to go away for the Bulldogs, unfortunately.
Full-time in the AFL, that final scoreline, Hawthorn has defeated Adelaide by 34 points. The Hawks through to a preliminary final against Geelong. Adelaide, the minor premier, out in straight sets. Hawthorn 14-17, 101 to Adelaide's 10-7, 67. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Warriors versus Panthers, and just repeating that news at selection. So Jackson Ford returns from suspension and Wade Egan comes in from a hip injury. They are two pretty big ins for the Warriors.
Yeah.
No Rocco Berry, Sam Healy's been dropped. And then for Penrith, To'o Martin and Summerton into the team. Summerton playing because Mitch Kenny's out with a hamstring. Thomas Jenkins was the interesting one, with Paul Adamati preferred and Dane Laurie left out. So
Summerton to runner too, so he's pretty dangerous out of dummy half. But they're going to miss it. They're going to miss Kenny so bad, I reckon.
Yeah, it's things can get crazy at Mount Smart. You've lived it.
Yeah, I tell you, they will be hanging off the rafters. The Warriors leading into.
If Fish runs into Moses Leota and there's something that happens early on there,
they'll have the drums going. They'll have everything. They'll probably run out through the old tunnel, through all the flames and everything like that. Like, it'll be an amazing atmosphere. And look, the Warriors will feed off it. And let's not forget, they have got some big name players in there. So they've still got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. They've still got, as we said, James Fisher-Harris, guys that have been there and done it. So as I say, if there's going to be an upset in the weekend, it could be that one.
And then, of course, so Louis, you're on the call there tomorrow in that game. And then down in the Shire, Sharks with Trindle back, Atkinson left out, and still waiting to hear from about Britton Nickera, but you assume if he's right, he'll play.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident he'll be sweet.
So they'll have to make another bit of an adjustment there, and the Roosters playing the same team that beat the Rabbitohs last Friday night.
I just realised too, we're talking about back rowers, is that the Storm didn't have Sean Ball tonight too, whether or not he'll be back.
Yeah, that larynx injury, the throat injury. Yeah. It's, it sort of went from being just an injury to then semi-serious, didn't it? So we're still waiting to see how that rolls out. Hoffy, thank you.
Thank you.
Great night at the footy in Melbourne. Louis, good night.
Good night, thank you very much.
Welcome to finals. Like, that was, if take out who you support. We got nerves at the start. Then we got grind. We got drama. That was September worthy. I'll make up a word.
It's a good start. It's a great start of the weekend. 2 cracking games tomorrow and an amazing game on Sunday. Yeah, good. But thank you very much for the night. Loved it.
Ian Cohen, thank you, mate. Thank you. See you in a couple of weeks' time at the prelim. To Stewie on the faders. To Damien here, who's a part of the social team. Make sure you check out all the gear on Facebook, Instagram, X. It's all about the place. And to Renell Moa back in the studio. Thanks for your company on this Friday night of footy to open the finals. Storm 26, Bulldogs 28. Repeating earlier today in the NRLW, the Eels beat the Dogs 46-14. So the Eels are inside the top 6 for now. Big game tomorrow, Titans v Raiders. Titans need to win that to get back into the 6. And, of course, Hawthorn, too good for Adelaide in the AFL. 22,117 fans in the house. Melbourne through to their 10th preliminary final in the last 11 seasons. Dogs get another chance next week. Storm win it 26 points to 18. Nick Meaney kicks off for the Storm. The finals for 2025 are underway. 31 from the Dogs line went tackled. Grant now passes left. There's it. Holds it up. Pops it on Munster. Gives it on to Chan. Chan through half the hole before the defence comes across, and Tracy makes an important tackle 10 metres out. Grant passes right through Munster, through Peasant to the right edge, and Eli Katoa, as he's done all season, scores on the right edge for the Storm. The opening try of the finals goes the way of the purple.
This is too easy, Q. It's way too easy for the Melbourne Storm.
He'll play it for the Dogs, 31 metres from the Storm line. Melbourne leads 6-0 on finals footy on ABC Sport. To the left, Salmon to Galvin on the kick out. Tried the offload, and Sexton picks it up, goes into the in-goal area. He thinks it's come off his legs, and I think the referee is going to have a look at that as well. He's gone into the in-goal. Let's tune in here to Ref Adam G.
I believe that he was his knee and also his arm on the road to take the possession cleanly now.
And Tony Sexton on return to the team.
He grabs the ball. We have a decision.
Scores the opening try for Canterbury Bankstown, which should level things up. He scored under the sticks.
Well, when he was playing earlier in the year, the Bulldogs looked really, really good. He plays to the whistle. He knows exactly what happened there. Toby Sexton picks it up and gets a little bit of footwork, comes off that left foot, scores under the post, gets the Bulldogs right back into this game.
Through the hands to Man, dummies, slips, regathers, dummies again, gets up, straightens, Man eventually tackled. That's Last play, Canterbury Bankstown, 8 metres from the Melbourne line. Hayward to the right, Galvin passes to Tracy. Cut out, full to the edge. Carraz is over in the corner. And the Dogs lead in Melbourne.
Toby Sexton is the key to this Bulldog side. I don't care what anyone says.
Ball played, it doesn't out the left. Branford's out of dummy half infield. Pops it up to Munster, back to the blind. His pass on to Howard.